that man that took me in and who I thought was going to be my mentor in the selling world became like a dictator, bro. Yo, just basically like super controlling and like ridiculing me, calling me names, like calling me idiot, like all that stuff. Online customer service, so I was dealing with like these HKs calling up like, hey bro, where are my TNs, bro? Like, where's my order? He freaking delivered flowers to the office. He found out where our office was and he delivered flowers to our manager and we had to call the cops, bro. I basically converted to Christianity to close the deal. I'm joking, bro, I'm joking.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Rice and Mike's podcast. I'm your host, Tung Nguyen, and I'm joined today by a very old friend of mine, Lawrence Lai.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for joining, man. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. Thanks for having me, eh?
No worries. It's been long overdue. I've actually known Lawrence since year 7. That's when we met, right? I
think so. Do you want if I share how we met or do you want to...
Mate, don't ask for permission. Just fucking do it.
Oh, okay, sure. Well, we were in year 7. We were in the talented and gifted class. Surprising, right? Like, look at us.
Consider what you heard from Aita in the last episode.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I think you joined halfway into the year because they misplaced you. Like maybe they misplaced your exam results or something like that.
Yeah.
And they finally found out, this guy's actually a bit too smart to be in this class. Let's move him to Lawrence's class where all the geniuses are. And he came in and I don't know, he said hi to me and he started like harassing me. Like, I felt very uncomfortable at one point.
Yeah, it was. We got really close. Like I got to know Lawrence physically and emotionally.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I don't want to think about that, but I'm joking. But that actually cemented our friendship for the years coming forward, and like we all became pretty close in that class because we were all geniuses. So yeah, we all had something in common.
What happened to us, man?
We were.
I feel like we were like the small 10% of the class that just slowly our marks just dropped off and we just became drop kicks.
I know, dude. Too much combat arms.
Please,
Yeah.
Oh, and what else are we doing, man? We weren't doing much. Playing footy all day. Oh yeah. That was our gateway into adult films.
Into adult films, yeah, exactly.
Like, wait, they're allowed to show this on films? That's not right. Oh, these are what breasts look like. Oh, okay. We got to see more of this. Well, we'll get into more of that a bit later. So the reason why I brought Lawrence onto the show is he's got an extensive working history in particularly sales. And I mean that in like a broad perspective. If you work in like, let's say a retail space like JB Hi-Fi, being lead, and that's kind of like classified as a sales role.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd say that.
Because there's commission tied to it. You sort of have to talk to the person and give them the right product. But tell me about the origin of that.
Yeah, the origin about like my sales career or origin of just like
so your first job was what was that? Sam's Warehouse?
Oh yeah, well we're actually starting from like day one where I actually earned my first paycheck. So,
yeah, why not?
Yeah, I started off in like, I think year 11, worked at a place called Sam's Warehouse. It's kind of like your go-low type of deal, like a reject shop thing, but massive.
It's like gone.
Hey?
Disappeared.
It disappeared actually. They went into liquidation. Yeah, so the funny thing, the lady that founded Kathmandu actually owned Sam's Warehouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she, don't quote me on this, but you can probably read it on her Wikipedia or something, but she sold Kathmandu and I think she got into a bunch of bad investments later on and unfortunately she had to liquidate Sam's Warehouse.
Oh, right.
So yeah, I was out of a job, but I was there for like a year.
Well, you were like 15, 16, right?
I was, probably around, I was in year 11. So yeah, I might have been like 15 or 16. Yeah.
And then I know I heard this on your podcast. Do you want to plug that real quick?
Yeah. Backdoor Banter.
Yep. I listened to one of the episodes and you were talking about the worst sales job you had.
Yep.
Where you worked, I think it was like close by. Right? It was like the same vicinity of the shop. Tell me about that place.
Yeah. So it was a plaza and there's like a big car park in the middle, but shops, I guess in like a kind of like a U shape but it goes in like a spiral. So there's a bunch of shops there.
Right.
And Sam's Warehouse was next to, or maybe like adjacent to another electrical store. So they would sell like consumer electronics. I won't name the name out of respect, but
is it still around?
It's still around. It's still around. So that's why I won't name the name, but it's a consumer electronics store. They sell stuff from like white goods, kettles and cameras or like everything for
just
your home.
Another like Bingley,
exactly.
essentially.
So I got let go from Sam's Warehouse because the place did not exist anymore. But then it got bought out by some random person that opened another bargain store. So they utilized the same infrastructure.
Yeah.
Might have even been the same stock. And they opened the same thing. And I saw that they opened and I just rocked up. This was after high school where I needed a job. Funds were low. And I was like, hey, I used to work at Sam's Warehouse. Can I get a job here? And they interviewed me on the spot and ended up getting the job there. So at the same place, but now to go back to what you were asking earlier about the adjacent shop that was around, the electrical store. So while I was going on with my day working at that bargain shop, I was some bloke, Middle Eastern bloke came and asked me to look for something, like he was looking for something, and I helped him, and apparently my customer service skills were like exceptional. So he came back to me after he paid. He's like, hey, do you like working here? I'm like, it's all right. Like, do you want a job? Come work for me. I'm like, where do you work? What do you do, bro?
It's so sketchy, bro.
Yeah, it's so sketchy, man. I thought I was going to like start selling drugs or something. But he's like, oh no, I work at that electrical store like down the road. Not down the road, like next door.
Yeah.
Come, like, I like you. And I took his number down, went in for an interview. Seemed like a lovely old Middle Eastern man. Yeah. But it was probably the worst next 5 to 6 months of my life, bro.
Was that bad?
It was that bad. Or of my working life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, this is straight like out of the how to get a job boomer handbook.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you could go in person and hand your resume in person and they'll interview on the spot.
I know.
And I don't think that even happens nowadays, right? Like, I don't think that's a thing anymore.
I don't think so.
It's always like you go up and they're like, mate, just apply online.
Yeah. Actually, I got a story that I want to share with the listeners and viewers. Tung and I, back in like year 10, I don't know if you remember this, but we were pretty keen to get a job and start earning some money for ourselves. I don't know what we wanted to buy. Maybe you wanted to buy NX or like art.
I think a computer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Gaming PC.
Yeah. And we printed out our resumes, made it like really nice looking and stuff. And we rode our bikes around Cabramatta, handing in our resumes to tutoring centers because the only thing we were good at was maths.
Oh, wait. This is like so vague, man.
Like it was a struggle, bro. Like we had troubles printing it, like because my printer messed up. I don't think you had a printer at home at the time. So we had to go to our friend Kevin's house, KV. He's been on this pod, right?
He has been, yes.
Yeah, to print it. And maybe we didn't print enough and we had to go back. But like we just biked right around all the tutoring centers around Cabramatta, handing it in.
We weren't qualified, bro.
We weren't qualified, definitely not. Like we were good at maths, but we weren't that good at maths.
Yeah, well, we're okay. Like I think I'm like a maybe low primary school level, maybe year 7.
Yeah, maybe year 7, year 8. Yeah.
Past that, like it wasn't that great.
Yeah.
But it was okay.
And we got no callbacks.
No, I don't yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I don't think our resumes are that impressive either.
Yeah, that's true.
0 experience.
Yeah. So it's a bit of a high effort. I don't know if it will be high return anymore, because like everything's digital nowadays.
Yeah.
So like they probably see this and they'll like, oh yeah, look at it later, but they just toss it to the side and just forget.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And all right, now back to the sales gig. Mm-hmm. So you quit the warehouse job you're doing.
Yep.
And then you went to this new place.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
So I'll talk about my experience at that new place. Like,
yep.
I've also spoken about it on my podcast as well, but it's the worst like 5 to 6 months of my life because that man that took me in and who I thought was going to be my mentor in the selling world.
Yeah.
He owned a successful business, been around for maybe 20, 30 years. Became like basically just like a dictator, bro. Just controlling, just basically like super controlling and like ridiculing me, calling me names, like calling me idiot, like all that stuff. Bro, I was 17, right? So yes, I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed because I lacked experience, right? I just started. Like a lot of these things I'm doing it for my first time. So bro, cut me some slack, man. It's like, it's not good to learn. You can't learn in that stressful, hostile environment. Yep. So yeah, like it was like so tough. It was just calling me names every time like I made a mistake. Like it wasn't a mistake that I made multiple times. It was literally like a first time mistake. It was my first time doing the task.
Were they even big mistakes?
Oh, it would have been something like, So you know the price tags on like the appliances and stuff.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah.
them
You print them out.
print them out. Yeah. So a quick way that we used to do it was that we'd print it out and it's on paper with perforations.
Oh,
so
yes,
you can all like you can take it off really
Yeah, strip
easily.
it off, yeah.
And what you can do like a type of a process line type of thing where you just tape you tape them all right away and then you pop it onto like a trolley at an angle. And then you just wheel that trolley over to where all the fridges are, because let's say you need to change like 30 freaking prices and there's no real workbench where the display areas are. So you do it at the back and you just basically have them all pre-sticked on sticky tape and you pop them onto a trolley and you make sure they don't touch each other. So you don't have to fiddle around with it, and you just take that over. But I did that, but then I had to leave it because I had to attend to something else. And then maybe there was a fan or something nearby that blew onto it. And it stuck them all together, and he literally just lost his shit at me because I had to do it again. But it was like, mind you, it was a very like understaffed place in terms of like salespeople. There was like 3 of us, 2 with like mad experience, and me with like a month or 2 months of experience. And on the weekend, it got flooded with people, bro. So there was so much to do there.
Yeah,
and he would just like imagine like having to run around during like peak rush period, and then this boy calling you an idiot and stuff.
Bro, but price tags are like so bottom of the barrel. Like you just reprint it again, man. What's the big deal?
I know. I don't know why. He just like literally lost his shit at me because of that. And
did he like throw stuff at you or something?
No. He never threw stuff at me. Like I wish he did. Maybe I could have sued him. You know? So
You get something.
he
out
gets
of it.
something out of it. But no. He would just call me names. Oh, you're so stupid, idiot. Like stuff like that, man. Just not very kind words.
Yeah.
And I was looking to, like, I wanted to quit, man. I was 17. I was like, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this. So I was telling my dad, I was like, I'm going to freaking quit. And he told me like, nah, don't do it. Don't do it. Like you got to endure the suck, because life's not always easy.
Yeah.
And if you just come through like, every time you approach a hurdle and you decide to leave or quit and not continue, you're not going to make it far in life. So he's like, "What? Just endure it and just find another job in the meantime. Like try to look for another place." So like just endure it. You're gonna have to cop it. There's gonna be people that you don't want to work with, but you're just gonna have to do it sometimes.
This is what your dad's saying.
Yeah, this is what my dad was saying.
In case we're getting confused that it's the boss.
No.
telling you not to quit.
This is my dad. This is my dad saying that, and he's like, "Look, bro, if I quit every time like my boss said something crap to me, like you wouldn't be." Living in this house right now, you know what I mean? So like we wouldn't have a house to live in.
Yeah.
So I listened to him, and at the same time I was applying for other places, and I actually had a family friend that worked at a competitor, Bingley, and she's been there for quite some time. Well, she was my mama's friend, so I basically call her like an auntie.
Oh, yeah.
She's been there for quite some time. She knows like all the C levels in there and all the like executives in the head office, and basically she just referred me in, got a job. At Bingley. Yeah, well, I had to interview still so they know like I'm not an idiot, but and applied and interviewed, got the job, and like that's when I decided to plot my revenge and tell them that I'm quitting and I'm going to Bingley.
Must have been so satisfying.
Yeah, it was super satisfying because like that was our competitor. Like they would match prices with Bingley as well, and they wouldn't like to because like. They were such a big player compared to them.
So the volume is like they make more in sales in volume, but then because they're a small retailer, there's like a lower profit.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Overall. Yeah,
exactly.
It's just one shop.
Yeah, the day that I got the job, confirmed everything, offer accepted. I went in or actually the following day I went into work and I said, "Oh, hey, blah 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 blah, Mr. Manager, or the boss, the owner that." Recruited me in, the old man that was ridiculing me. Yeah, he was the owner of the store, and his son was the general manager. So I'll deal.
Was he the one abusing you?
He was a bit funny as well. He was a bit of an odd guy. Like I think he had some like mental issues. Like not gonna lie, in the back of his head, like he has like some strange behaviors, man. But we won't get into that.
Okay.
But he didn't really abuse me, but he had some like strange behaviors. But I went to his son and his dad. The boss was standing on the side and I was like, "Hey, I need to let you know that I'm quitting. Here's my resignation letter." He's like, "Oh, Laurie, why? Like, what's going on?"
Laurie?
Yeah. Because coincidentally, those past 2 weeks as well was like the most successful 2 weeks in my life in terms of selling. Like I sold a lot. But sold a lot of like extended warranty as well, which is basically like 100%. Yeah, it's a scam. Yeah, sold a lot of that. And like I was doing really, really well. Maybe because I was just so happy that like my vibrations changed because I got a new job.
Yeah,
like maybe that, like because I wasn't as stressed, I was selling better. So he was like, "Oh, why? Like you've been performing so well. Like what's going on?" And I'm like, And then his dad on the side did like the most smart ass comment, and it was like the perfect timing. He was like, "Haha. What are you going to do? Are you going to go back to waiting tables again?" Because I missed this. I was actually waiting tables for like 2-3 months, like while I was at that electrical store, because I was just doing it at night and some extra
shifts.
Extra shifts, yeah. So but I quit like halfway into my tenure there.
Yeah.
And I was like, he was like, "Oh, what are you going to do? Like go back to waiting tables again?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm going to Bing Lee." Like mic drop, bro.
Did his face just like flip?
Yeah, it was like a smile to like grief, and then like angry. He's like, "Oh, what the hell?" And he started losing it. He started flipping it, man. He was like, "No, we can't do this. Like, son, we have to put in the next employment contract that like they can't work at a competitor after they work with us and all this like random stuff." He was just crashing out.
Losing it.
Yeah, I was losing it, and I was just staying there, just watching the chaos like unfold and all that stuff. So, and it was funny as well because they tried to like convince me to stay, and they're like, "Oh no, we'll match the amount that they're paying you." And I'm like, bro, these guys were paying me like $15 an hour and not giving me any raises or anything.
Is that cash in hand or was it legit?
It was like a cash in hand thing. Like it was like a bank transfer.
So there was no like super,
there was no super.
sick leave annually.
None of that. Yeah,
that's dodgy.
Yeah, it was dodgy. And then from there, that they decided to like bump me up to like $20-something an hour, bro. I was like, bro, you never gave me any of this until like I decided to say I wanted to leave. And if I was to stay, you probably wouldn't treat me the same. Like
exactly.
Like, I don't know. I can't trust you guys, bro.
That applies to, good that you say that, because it does apply to like most other jobs that people are out there, not just in sales.
Yeah.
Like once you start quitting, they're like, "Oh, we'll raise the salary." But if you already are on the way out, I think the best thing is to stick with it, because you don't want to stay. Because then the feeling is going to be hostile.
Yeah, it's like a toxic partner, right? And they're like, "Oh, I swear I'll change," when you threaten to leave and stay again.
It was a raise before, bro.
Exactly.
I've been in this company for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
And once I start jumping ship, it's like, "Oh, okay, we got money for the raise now or the promotion."
Yeah, exactly. It's very reactive opposed to proactive to maintain your stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's a good life lesson, and you learned that pretty early.
Sorry?
You learned that life lesson pretty early.
Yeah, I guess so, eh? Yeah, I did learn that pretty early. I didn't see it as a life lesson, I guess, but maybe it's subconsciously ingrained in me. But also, my dad was a big part in this, because I discussed everything with him, and he's like, because it sounded a bit tempting when they increased it, and I'm like, it's a bit closer to the location that I'm going to be working at for Bing Lee, so it's convenient and all that. But he was like, "Nah, don't do it, man. You can't trust these guys, bro. Yeah, they're emotionally unstable. Like you never know what could happen. Like they might just treat you like crap, and maybe they might not even back their word. They'll take advantage of you and all that." So I'm like, yeah, that's true. You know what, Dad? That's good idea.
Did they match the salary?
Yeah, basically they matched it. Yeah,
but that's without any workers' benefits.
Yeah, no.
So I assume the new place was actually legit.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're effectively paying you less without any super.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact ins and outs, but I remember he tried matching it. I don't know if it was like a permanent position or not, but yeah.
Did you get commission in the first place?
No, I didn't even get commission as well, which is like...
From any sales?
No, so I only got commission from extended warranty.
How much did you get from it?
It was like $10 per...
$10?
$10 per extended warranty that I sell.
How much are the warranties?
Well, they range from, depending on like price of the item. So if it's like anything under $150, I think it's like $22.
Yeah.
Or 3 years, 1 year manufacturer and 2 years extended warranty, and it's a guaranteed replacement.
Yeah.
But as it goes up in price, like there's different ranges, and 500 plus, there's like other ranges as well. But yeah, it was only $10 per warranty that I sold. So I only just, every time I sold a low tier item, I would add the $22 warranty, and like, hey, it's only $22. So
at the time it was quite a bit, but damn, looking in hindsight, you look at every other company that does it, and that's like so bad in comparison.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, it actually is pretty trash. I haven't thought about not getting commission for a while.
Like anyone that sells TV, fridge, like JB Hi-Fi, you're getting something out of it.
Yeah.
But we should probably explain why extended warranties are trash. because of Australian consumer law?
Yes. Australian consumer law, I think they give you like 3 years in total. It's been a while since I worked in retail, so
It depends on the item. It's like the reasonable amount of life. Like I remember fighting tooth and nail. So recently my parents' fridge, the ice stopped working.
Yep.
And they bought that like 2020, maybe like 2021, 2022. And then it's got like, 2-3 years, like I think it was like 2 years manufacturer warranty.
Yeah.
And then the fridge was broken. The ice was broken. And I was like, dude, I spent over $3,500 for this fridge.
Mm-hmm.
By Australian consumer law, do you think it's acceptable for a $3,500 fridge to break after 2 years?
Yeah.
And the law says it should be a reasonable time that a fridge should last more than this amount of years. So I brought that, write the letter of demand, whatever, threatened to take it to fair trading, and then they finally folded the store, and then they finally got it fixed. So it's really annoying to have to deal with that, and a lot of people don't know that. So they're just like, 2 years, like, that's it. Like, we can't do anything. The store can't do anything.
Well, I didn't even know that as well because I was pretty young and impressionable, and I didn't look into the law and all that, regarding that, because I wasn't really on the consumer side. So I was just selling those warranties like, yeah, bro,
give me money.
It, mate. You need it, and give me some money.
It's a bit sketchy, but I don't know. Like, morally, do you feel like at the time, if you did know, do you think it might have been a bit immoral to sell that?
No, because then it also stops the hassle of needing to go through those actual steps to get it sorted, because maybe getting the warranty will shorten that period of time, especially like in that experience where those people just literally do not respect the law.
It's annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying.
And I think they got fined. It might have been JB Hi-Fi.
Oh, was it?
Or it was one of the retailers. They got fined pretty big because they were selling that extended warranty, which was effectively useless.
Right.
I don't remember which retailer it was.
Yeah. I don't know, man, because there's under $500. I think it was like a guaranteed replacement. Yeah. So let's say if you buy something for like 400 something, I think they might actually just try to service it opposed to replacing it. That's what I think.
You have the option, or you have the right to like a refund or replacement. It's one of the two.
Okay.
The store can offer one of the other.
Right. I guess I just don't know the law, bro.
Yeah. Well, you're not really doing retail space anyway these days, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
So you got into Bingley, was it 2013?
No, we were still in high school, bro. 2013. Fuck.
Was it after high school?
It was after high school. Went
to Bingley.
So it was in 2015.
15.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like for people that get into sales generally, it might have been from the movie Wolf of Wall Street. I don't know. Was that part of your motivation at some point?
Nah. So those retail jobs, it sort of just fell into my lap.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't inspired by Jordan Belfort, unfortunately. But it just fell into my lap, and I was studying at the time, and I needed something that was flexible. So it gave me a good amount of shifts that suited my schedule, like 3 to 4 days a week, depending on how busy my schedule is. And they just fit that schedule, and they were pretty flexible with me. So yeah, it really just fell onto my lap, man. I never really expected to go into sales. Like, I was studying like sports science at the time.
Did you pivot something else?
I pivoted to Bachelor of Business in Marketing.
Do you think it was worth it?
Do I think it was worth it? The learnings, no. Like, I didn't learn shit.
For uni, right?
Yeah, for uni, I didn't learn shit.
This is one of the controversial questions that even Gary and Philip that were on a couple episodes ago, they also agree that uni's a scam.
Yeah.
Depending on the
for
degree.
STEM degrees, yeah.
STEM, yes.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's some that are just completely useless.
Yeah. Well, I discussed this on an episode as well, but I think the uni is a scam in terms of, well, in my experience, can't speak for everyone, but in my experience, it is a scam in terms of learnings. Like, I'd never applied any of those learnings in my day-to-day. Like, I did have a marketing gig as well later down the track, but I didn't apply any of that. But the biggest thing that I gained from uni would be the connections that you make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So especially because you're studying in the same field, typically, right? Because like you studied IT, you would be with other IT guys. I studied marketing. I'll be with other marketing guys, or maybe even sales guys, and maybe they succeed earlier in life than me. And if I'm connected with them, it could be a potential opportunity for me to work for their company and actually get a job from one of from a uni friend that started working at a place that was hiring. Yeah.
So it's similar to like how people send their kids to private schools, right?
Yeah.
Send them to Kingsborough. What's the fee? Like 20 grand a term
bro.
or something?
I think so, man. Like my girlfriend's brother went to Knox, and I think it would have been like 30 to 40 grand a year. Yeah.
Did he make lifelong connections and now he's got a hookup?
Yeah, bro.
Nice cushy job?
He goes to the freaking when he goes to the footy, they always get like box seats and all that, man. Like
From who?
Like from his mate's dad or something who
My God.
does like partnerships with the NRL or something. So yeah, they get like mad tickets, like good seats, and he's always like has a mate for something, you know, because their dad's like this high ranking executive somewhere.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then you compare it to our hookups, it's mainly like, oh, yeah, my mum can tailor your clothes. And, my dad can help, I don't know, install some PowerPoints or something.
Yeah,
like
my auntie makes some good bun cell, you know.
This is mainly food, yeah. All right. Well, you moved to Bingley. How was your experience there compared to the last role?
Oh, much better, man. Much better. First off, commission. Finally got a taste of that. Yeah,
nice.
yeah. It wasn't the best. Like, it wasn't the best in terms of the rate because it was retail at the end of the day, but it was still a lot better.
It was better than nothing, yeah.
Better than nothing. That's where I also brushed up on my Chinese as well. So I was working in a shop in Chinatown, Haymarket.
Oh, yeah.
And I spoke Cantonese at home, but it wasn't the best. Like it'll be basically like speaking like an old person because I'm speaking to my parents and
Yeah.
So it's not like super conversational. Can't really crack too many jokes and stuff. But because I was there, I had to speak it, and most of my colleagues spoke it as well. So that's where I really like brushed up my Cantonese and got like really, really well at speaking it. So
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
yeah, like I got a lot better from there. Like to the point where I was speaking, like I was selling to like customers from like Guangzhou, Guangdong, like the ones who prefer to speak in Cantonese, and they asked me like, "Oh, are you from Hong Kong?" And I'm like, "Nah." It's like, take a guess. They're like, "Oh, Guangzhou then?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm born here." So it got to that point, like, to an extent, the way it got to that point where like I didn't really have to use any Chinglish.
How did you practice all that?
It was mainly just exposure. So it's like how kids learn from exposure, like when like you just speak around them, absorb
all this, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's the most important thing, right? Like it's mainly just practicing it, and if someone says a word that you don't really understand, like, "Hey, bro, what the hell does that mean?" And they'll explain it to you. But yeah, it was mainly just through exposure and listening to my colleagues speak to one another and like watch them like just roast each other in Cantonese, and everything's just like very conversational. Yeah.
Because like I'm thinking, how the hell do I say extended warranty in Vietnamese? Like I wouldn't know how to fucking say that. Like, would you know? Do you still remember how to say that?
Yeah. It's Bổ dụng.
Bổ dụng.
Yeah, Bổ dụng. That means warranty. Like, at least I might have learned in Bổ dụng.
You still remember that? Oh, nice. Tell us a bit more about the role there. I mean, I know people that work in retail space, especially like where they sell white goods, you're looked favorably upon because you got all the hookups, you got all the discounts.
Yeah, bro. I hooked up so many people. I probably hooked you up once or twice, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
And you're the one who got me that TV for my birthday.
Oh, was it a Hisense?
A Hisense,
yeah, nice.
I still have it in my old house. I don't have it now.
Okay, yeah. I was looking for it to see where it is. Yeah, but
Nah. Yeah, my brother uses it now.
It's a pretty old TV anyway. Yeah.
But that was good.
Yeah.
I wish I used it more when I had more money. Now that I do. Can't use it anymore. You miss those discounts?
A little bit, but there are still some hookups I can get because I've got that family friend that still works there, some old colleagues. So if I really need something, I'll hit them up. But I've also got another family friend that works at JB as well. So,
oh, nice. Yeah. JB's like
exactly
top tier, bro. You got someone that works there?
Yeah,
that's where you want to be.
Yeah. But I do miss the discounts because like sometimes I'm like, I don't know if this is the actual discount because like I would sometimes push for more. Like I wouldn't do it myself.
Yeah.
I would ask my manager, I'm like, "Hey bro, like what is the actual cost price you can give me?" And I'll grill him for it. Like, what is the actual one? All right. And he would he would show me on the computer. I'm like, okay, that. But then if I'm asking another colleague and maybe they're not as close with their manager or their manager's a bit more of a tight ass and they're like, "Oh, the best I can do for you is this." So that like, I need to see it for myself because I've been there. So, yeah. So there's little bit of doubt in me, but at least I'm still getting a significant discount. So
yeah. You got to support them a little.
Exactly.
And you worked at that place for how long?
Like 3.5 years.
Fuck, that's a long time.
Long time, man. Long time.
That sounds like you left after you finished your degree, right?
No, I left while I was still studying because I moved around a bit. Took a while for me to finish my degree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Where'd you go after that?
I went to ANZ. I was working there as a personal banker and a teller.
Personal banker, does that just mean you're one of the guys at the front?
So you can basically help with like unsecured loans like credit cards and like personal bank accounts and term deposits and all that, and give like basic finance advice.
Any tips for getting approved for a credit card?
No, because basically they halfway into my role there, bunch of banks, like bankers were getting popped like in the big four for just giving people credit cards that don't need it, right? They were like, some people were like giving like dead people credit cards, bro.
What?
Yeah. It was some case like that where they were like this person doesn't even exist, but like, yeah, they apparently they forged a credit card under their name or something. They're thinking that no one would notice. I think that was the case.
And they were just taking like money and then not paying it back.
No, not that. Because they would get commission on like credit card sales, I think.
So,
and also like providing it to people who couldn't pay it back as well. Like when they were assessing them, they're like, guy makes like $10 an hour, bro. Yeah.
We should give him $15,000.
Exactly, man. Have like the Amex Black, whatever, freaking fly, bro. Exactly. Yeah. But so because of that, the credit card process is like they give us our details. We have to call up the credit card line. It's like a very like hands off from us, but still like quite a tedious job because we have to call the freaking credit card line. So basically when someone wants to apply for a credit card, we just tell them, hey bro, just do it online. Yeah.
Is that the KYC thing?
No, KYC is more so like to confirm that you're not, to confirm that you are who you say you are on paper.
I feel like that kind of helps if people aren't opening them for dead people.
Yeah, no, but also the whole like selling it, pitching the credit card to people who don't need it or can't afford it. Yeah. So that won't really prevent that. So.
Okay. Did you ever come across people that churned?
Churned credit cards? Nah, I wouldn't deal with that. It was more so just like simple like bank account inquiries, man. I never really dealt with the credit card stuff. It was a whole different team for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like, especially after that little change in the law.
I'm kind of curious myself, that's why.
Yeah.
Because it's my second time with ANZ.
Oh, okay.
Gotten points both occasions.
Yeah, nice.
So if I close it and I wait another 12 months, I don't know if they're going to give it to me again.
Yeah.
For the third time, but we'll see if they will. Yeah. So you're dealing with like really, it's like level 1 tech support, right? Like, how do I withdraw money out of my card?
Yeah, stuff like that.
What do I press on the ATM?
Yeah, basic stuff like that. Like opening maybe personal bank accounts, like savings accounts for like students and stuff.
Oh, yeah. That's very, very basic.
Yeah, exactly. Or like business level, like banking transactions, like writing freaking, like a check, writing a bank check as well. Yeah. Like doing all that stuff, transferring money around. It's all just simple stuff.
Yeah. That's pretty much the gateway for how people move up from the big four corporate world, where you might be doing that kind of role. And then once you finish uni, you try to like pivot, apply internally, and then maybe get some sort of like grad role inside. Yeah. Like an analyst or something, depending what you're doing. Yeah. Was that your kind of idea? Because you were doing marketing, so I assume there's a marketing team for ANZ. Yeah, that was my idea. I wanted to do that, but I didn't have the chance to do that because prior to me graduating, I got made redundant from ANZ because our branch, because I worked in a branch and everything's digital nowadays. Like when was the last time you walked into a branch? Maybe to prove my identity, that's it. That's it, right? Yeah. So you don't really need it, need branches. Maybe you'll have a few in like highly populated areas, but yeah, like they were just like, we're closing down your store. The lease is done. We're not going to renew it. It's not worth it. I think they shut down like 6 or 7 branches at the same time at that time. And the one that I worked at was just, not going to be there anymore. So they also didn't have any other positions in other branches. Did they give you redundancy? Yeah. They paid me like 3 months. Oh, nice. Yeah. So that was good. But yeah, I didn't finish uni yet. So didn't really apply for those marketing roles internally. But yeah, that was definitely the long-term goal. Do you think if it didn't shut down, you would have tried to move up in ANZ? Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I think it would have been a good organization to work for. A lot of opportunities. I don't know. Banking seems like you get overworked a lot in my head. Yeah, well, it's like equivalent to the big four accounting.
That's true. I actually don't know the banking culture that well, but
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm
just the
speculating.
work culture thing that that they would speak about. I don't know if it's all like propaganda, but it seemed like a pretty good work culture. They've got like this inclusive policy and like just little things that make it seem like it'll be a good place to work for.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the
Okay,
reality, but it was a good place to work for at the branch though. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So the team there was
the
good.
team was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll go back to your uni degree because you said it was pretty useless to what you're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
So after ANZ, where did you go after that?
After ANZ, bro, I had so many jobs, right? So after ANZ, I was made redundant. I became a bum for like the next couple of months because trying to find a job and also living off the redundancy and stuff. But after that hiatus, I got a job as like a customer service rep, online customer service rep at JD Sports.
Oh yeah, I remember that like,
Yeah.
really vaguely.
Vaguely, yeah. I was there for about
I don't remember
a
what
year.
you did there.
Yeah, it was just like online customer service, bro. So I just needed another job to
Just needed money.
needed money, man, just to get me through to the rest of my like degree. And yeah, it was just online customer service. So I was dealing with like these HKs calling up like, hey, bro, where are my TNs, bro? Like, where's my order? I pull it up and like, of course it's from Bankstown, bro. It's like you know, two Asics gel quantums, blah, 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 and like a pair of TNs, bunch of, and they're like, bro, where is it? I ordered it like yesterday.
Was it any other good calls from
that
place?
Oh, bro,
or-
I had this guy like threaten to come and like freaking burn our office down, bro, because it was like this. I picked it up. Let me set the tone.
Yeah.
I was finishing up a uni assignment the night before. It was due like basically the same day that I'd work the next day. So
Yeah.
I stayed up till like 3 a.m. I had work at like 9. So I only got like a couple of hours of sleep. I was so tired. Everything was spinning when I walked into the office. Got to my desk. I'd set myself to online. Get a call come in like a minute later. And I was stuck on this call for like 20 minutes. And it was this guy asking where his order was. Like, look, I kind of understand in hindsight now why he was so angry. Basically, he had a big order that was like $1,200 worth of like freaking TNs, shoes, whatever, like just a bunch of stuff, right? Like he was going to be like decked out with. But a lot of those orders come from the UK because JD Sports is a UK company. And some stuff are UK exclusives, but it's on the Aussie web store. But it tells you that it will take slightly longer because it's coming from a UK warehouse. But I don't know if you know this, but I think over a certain amount, like I think it was over $1,500 or maybe over $1,000, Border Patrol, they require like an invoice for it or something in case you need to pay like business tax because you might be importing it for like resale value. You might be importing it to resell it to people.
This would have been before they introduced that tax where if the item value is worth over 1,000, you have to pay GST on it. I think it would have been before then.
Yeah. I think it would have been, this would have been like 2020.
Okay. I don't think it was around yet.
Yeah, I think they just needed like an invoice or something or like whatever. And it was basically just held at customs because it needed some extra paperwork because it was such a large order. So I didn't know what was going on. Like I needed to like follow up with like Ozpost and all that stuff. Like, bro, let me just check with you, blah, 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 blah. But he was like, this guy was really impatient, bro. And he started like freaking like saying so much stuff to me. He's like, he's like, if you guys don't do this, no, he's like, basically, I was saying, look, bro, I gotta talk to Ozpost. I gotta launch an investigation and then see what they say. There's nothing I can do for you right now. Like I don't have the clothes on me. I don't know where it is. Like let me just find out for you. We'll get back to you. And he was like, no, I'm not satisfied with that response. What if I tell you that I'm going to go into like one of your stores, like the JD Parramatta store. I'm going to take all the clothes and chuck it on the table and I'll set it on fire. I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like that has no relation to what I just said. But yeah, and he just started rambling on about a bunch of like random shit, like abusing me over the phone. And somehow he knew that I was Asian because after
the way you talk,
I don't know. After I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to disconnect this call if you keep like abusing me. And he's like, whatever, you fucking Asian. And he hung up. I was like, what the hell? How did you know, bro? And this guy would like harass us for the next couple of weeks. And he even so we had to transfer him to our manager.
Yeah,
like,
you can't deal with that, man.
Yeah. So he freaking delivered flowers to the office. He found out where our office was and he delivered flowers to our manager and we had to call the cops, bro.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's scary, bro. So like I get why he was like kind of pissed off, but we just needed to find out, bro, like what was going on. And like get the issue sorted for him. Like all got sorted at the end, but he was going like way overboard, eh? And we didn't really want to deal with him as well because every time he would call, he would just like we just cop an abuse, bro. And we're not paid enough to handle that shit, you know.
I don't see the point. Like at that rate, you'd be like, hey, it's you again. Unless you have anything productive you want to say, we're just going to end the call.
Yeah, exactly, man.
So I don't know if that's what they did.
Well, yeah, like that's what I do as well. It's just like when you want something out of someone, like especially from a customer service rep, and you want a specific solution, the last thing you should do is like abuse them.
Oh yeah,
they're not going to want to help you, bro. They're humans as well. Like the main thing is like for me, if I want to get something done or want them to get something done, I'll be nice but persistent. I'll be like, I appreciate that, but you know, what about this?
Exactly.
And I'll just keep pushing, but I'm not being rude. I'm still being, oh, thank you, I appreciate it. And then like, but can you do this? And can you just still look into it today for me, please? And they.
So this is another sales tactic.
Yeah, they feel bad like hanging up on you, or they feel bad like trying to pawn you up to someone else. And there's no reason for them to disconnect the call because they'll get in trouble for disconnecting the call. Because like sometimes it's recorded, and if I was to, well, a lot of the times it's recorded for training purposes. So if I was to put in a complaint, this person disconnected me, they'd get in trouble for it. So yeah, the key tip in those situations is to be nice but annoyingly persistent.
Always be nice.
Yeah,
it works, man. In general, like if I even like when I was working in tech support, this is quite a number of years ago. I remember customers, if they abuse me, man, I'm like, all right, I'm doing the bare minimum.
Yeah,
I'll just like kind of daydream off the call, man, until they like stop talking. And then I know there were like some customers that are like really nice, and then when I was supposed to endorse stuff like ad block and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like people that, you know, really, really nice to be like, oh, do you have any like options for like ad block? And I'm like, oh, we don't really endorse it, you know, because, you know, it's kind of like a gray area. And then I'd be remoted on the computer at the same time. I'd be like Googling the exact ad block to download because they don't have logs to what you're doing on the laptop. Yeah. So like, I don't really endorse it, but like, this is probably one that you should avoid in particular, just letting you know. But yeah, look, if you're nice, bro, I would have gone like the ends of the world to try and help you.
100%, man. Yeah.
But yeah, because dude, call center environments especially, they just take the life out of you. And then when you get that one specific customer or person that's so nice, you're like, man, my day's so much better now.
For sure.
Yeah.
At Bing Lee, when I was working there as a salesperson, like the really nice people, I would like give them more of a discount. Like it would compromise a bit more on my commission, but like I didn't really care. Like it made my job easier. Like it was a good interaction and stuff. Like it wasn't stressful. Like they were just like nice. They weren't being assholes about it. So yeah.
And that's another tactic, right? It's not just about price, it's also about loyalty. Because then it's like, oh, I had a really good interaction with Lawrence at the store. I'm going to come back and buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of getting the maximum price and like, they barely gave me anything, I'm just going to go to another shop.
Yeah. 100%.
Is that another tactic of yours?
Yeah. Oh, like loyalty thing or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, we would get like some customers from like the surrounding businesses, especially the restaurants. They'll always need to come in and buy like blenders and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And so yeah, they'll consistently come back to me. They're the ones that I did serve.
Oh, okay. So you're that good.
I was okay.
Yeah. You're okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to JD. So JD Sports, you were there for how long? Call center? A year.
Yep.
Mate, how did you feel about the call center environment?
It was so hostile, bro. Like I left because it was too much for me.
So like KPIs, right? Like you got to do X amount of calls.
No, KPIs weren't that crazy on the KPIs.
Yeah.
But the main thing was just the constant abuse, bro. It was just not good for my mental health, bro.
Drains you, man.
It was like during COVID as well. So this would have been 2020. So I was only going there for work. Yeah. Only going there for work and coming back. Like I wouldn't really go out because you couldn't really go out and interact. And yeah. So it wasn't a good time like being in that solitude environment and just rocking up and getting abused.
Fuck, there's probably a lot of people calling up because no one's doing anything, so they're just like buying things, stuff. Right?
Yeah, it was just a lot of abuse, bro. So I couldn't do it, man. Yeah,
that's kind of part of the sales gig, right? Where you do need to get abused at some point.
Yeah, but this was like unnecessary abuse. You know, it's like, bro, where are my DNs? Like, you're a fucking shit cunt. Like, fuck you.
Wow.
Like, it's just stuff like that, bro. Like, you know the type of crowd that JD Sports draws, right?
Yeah, quite familiar.
Yeah, it's not the best interactions, and also at the same time, I was like trying to complete like a capstone unit for uni finally.
Oh, yeah.
So just wanted time to just chill out before I move into like an actual marketing role.
So you left and you had like how many months left before
Probably
graduating?
had like 2 months or something.
Okay, you're nearly done with the semester.
Yeah, I was nearly done already. So
yeah,
just decided to spend the rest of the time just to focus on uni because I don't want to go to another semester.
Oh man, that would be the worst.
Yeah,
to fail that, man.
Exactly.
It trains you.
Like especially a capstone unit that takes so much time. Like I don't want to do it again. And I actually ended up passing by like one mark. So like I got 51, bro. It was crazy.
Well, don't you usually work with a company?
Yes.
For your capstone unit, and then you sort of make like a project or something.
Yes.
Why was it so low?
We just had a bunch of guys from the area that didn't really do shit besides like every time we'd go and do an assignment, we would just be like, all right, let's get Canley Heights Bistro after this and get them pissed, you know? So yeah. Shout out my boys Kenneth and Rob. If they're watching this, they were my uni buddies, and Kenneth was the one who actually referred me into a job later on in life. So not later on, like, maybe a year or two after that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So the connections are made during uni.
Yeah, made during uni. So yeah, we just, I don't know, man. We probably just didn't have a good group, and like us, no. We had a good group, right? Like we had the boys, but we had like a few extras that we had to take in. A few. Let's say
some stragglers.
Stragglers, the unwanted, and we were the shelter. Like, come here, fellas. Who come?
Pick last during the sporting events.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're like, come here, fellas. We'll take you in, man.
Yeah.
F these guys. So yeah, it wasn't a good team dynamic, man. It was really weird. Just the communication was a bit off. Like, had an import. Like, he was a nice guy, hard worker, but he was just. When he submitted his part to us as a draft, like all the spelling was like completely off.
Oh man,
so many typos. But he was a hard worker. You could tell it was like some guy from Vietnam. But yeah, the spelling and grammar just like it didn't make sense. So yeah, I think that's probably why. Like, and also some of our laziness as well. But yeah, 51, bro.
I don't think a lot of people would have had a lot of drive at that point.
Yeah, well, it's all right, bro. P's get degrees.
As much as people hate that saying, it kind of later on it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Who the fuck cares if you graduated with honors or something?
Yeah.
With like a high distinction average. End of the day, they're just like, oh, this guy's got a degree. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And then look at your work history. So it's the same thing as like ATAR. Look, I'm not saying to throw away your uni and just like do the bare minimum. Like it kind of shows that you have like a work ethic and you can critically think, at least on a higher standard.
Yeah.
But in the long run, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
To the degree you might think. Yeah.
Exactly. Unless you really want to do your honors and stuff and like maybe write like a research paper or something.
Maybe masters,
Yeah, or your masters.
To go to the next stage.
Yeah. Exactly. But it gets degrees, man. At the end of the day, the piece of paper was pretty useless. But
it is, bro.
Yeah. But the connections that I made were pretty good.
Do you reckon it's worth it, people that want to do marketing or sales, to do a degree in something?
No, I reckon try it out without doing a degree first.
Is there a TAFE alternative?
I think there is. Like there probably is. But I don't know what it is. I haven't delved into that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't rate it too much. Wait, you still have your Hexstat?
Yeah, I do, man. I do. It is. Do you have yours?
Mine's, I think I just got under 40K after this financial year. So it's slowly chipping away.
Yeah.
Slowly.
Yeah, I think I'm around like the 40K mark. Like I think just over 41 or something.
Fuck, that's rough, man.
Messed up, especially from like changing degrees and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Changing degrees, failing subjecks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I failed a couple as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't fail units. That's a waste of money.
I know.
At least get a pass. We're saying put effort in, but you don't have to go all the way.
Exactly.
Okay, so you left JD Sports. You were at...
So after that, I joined a company called like EHP Labs. They're a sports like nutrition company. So they do like pre-workouts. And, like protein shakes and all that stuff. Sponsor all your famous Instagram influencers and all that stuff.
He had a fancy job title. It's really long. Athlete Partnerships and Marketing Executive.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
It sounds like you're like $250,000 salary flying business class to meet up with all these people.
Oh, man, I was not flying business class. I was on Sydney trains. Yeah. I was actually joined as a intern, like at that role. And
Was it paid at least?
It was paid, but
That's good.
it wasn't the best, bro. It was like $100 a day.
100 a day? Is that even legal?
Bro, I don't even know. Apparently, like, so I questioned it, and I was looking at, and I was like, there has. Let me try find the reward, because you know how like when you get a fair work,
Yeah, you get an award.
there's an award, not reward with but award, and I tried to find the specific award. It wasn't listed there. I'm like, I asked the recruiter, like, hey, can you send me the award of this? Like it's not listed, bro. Like $100 a day is like a bit.
Yeah, what's that? Wait, if it's like an 8-hour day, let's do the math. 100 divided by 8.
Mm-hmm.
That's $12.50
Yeah,
an
man.
hour. Bro, you're getting paid like an apprentice.
Straight out. So I was just like, what the hell's going on here? But she's like, oh no, it's like I don't remember what she said, and there's good reason, because it was just a bunch of mumbo jumbo HR shit.
Yeah.
Just trying to like weasel herself out of the situation, and I accepted it because I wasn't going to get anything out of this person. But at the time, I was like really, really like into that whole scene, like the Instagram influencer, like fitness influencer scene. I was
Yeah.
going to the gym like maybe 5 to 6 times a week. So I like, and I've like taken their products. It's all right. Like I was pretty into, like pre-workouts and like nootropics and stuff
Yeah.
that can like help improve your performance, like mentally and physically. So I was pretty into that space. Like, even though like that company wasn't something that I took on a regular basis, like didn't have something that I took on a regular basis, it was still like the next best thing. And they were like the biggest, I guess, nutritional supplement company in the entire nation. So I was like, fuck it, man. Like whatever, I'll just accept it. Because after like 3 months, they'll consider me for a permanent position. And that's when I got, after the internship, that's when I got offered the position as the.
And that was a proper job.
That was a proper job, yeah, with like full benefits and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's still pretty sketchy though.
Yeah, it is
They
pretty
do
sketchy,
that.
man. Yeah.
But I kind of get why in your position, because I remember, was this after uni? A bit after uni? Yeah, dude. I remember, I've gone through this as well a couple episodes ago. I remember straight after uni is like the hardest point to get a job.
Man.
It's like one of the worst. Like
You'll take anything that's like soil related, you know?
they dangle a carrot like, oh man, and I would apply to like 50 jobs
Yeah.
in a month or something, and then anything, just a sliver, bro. Give me like, bro, they'd be like, what's your expected salary? And I'll be like, dude, give me like 50K a year.
Yeah, dude.
I'll fucking do it, man. I need something. I
Yeah.
need experience, because all these
Exactly.
other jobs would be like, yeah, at least like minimum 1+ years experience in working in the IT field or something as a business analyst or some shit.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, how the fuck do you expect me to do that, bro? I just finished uni. It doesn't make
Straight
any
out.
sense.
You just need someone to give you a chance, bro.
Yeah. And that's why these recruitment companies, I don't know if you've come across them, like FDM Group, TCS,
No, I haven't come
Tata
across.
Consulting
Oh,
Services.
Tata, yeah.
They're one of the like notorious for taking advantage of graduates,
Oh.
because I don't know specifically which one. I remember one of them did say it's like a 2-year intern, like they put you in a program, and they usually partner with actual reputable places, like it could be like a Big Four bank, for example.
Oh, yeah.
But you kind of recruited through them, so they might be paying the recruitment agency like, I don't know, 80K for example, and then you're only getting like 55K.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they're like, you need to pay $10,000 training fee when you first start, like the first couple months. We'll waive it as long as you stay with us for 2 years.
Oh.
But if you leave, you have to pay for it. But the funny thing is, under our laws, they can't make you pay.
Oh, okay.
So even if you quit and they try to enforce that on you, legally they have no backing.
Right.
So people out there that might be under that, yeah, just letting you know. Well, not legal advice. Make sure you read up on it. This is what I've researched. You don't need to pay for it. Yeah. Even then they say if you leave, you're going to have to fucking owe us 10 grand. Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, anyway, being a graduate, fresh graduate, man, I was so ready to be taken advantage of. Give me a job, bro.
Why are you going to say it like that, bro?
Bro, am I wrong, man? It was a tough market, man. And then, all right, so you stayed there for how long?
I'll take advantage of you, bro. Can I have $100?
Right, let's put the cameras on. Yeah, you got the main gig. You actually had a job title.
Yes.
You were an intern.
Yep.
And what kind of work did that involve?
So it was a marketing internship, right? So I was working with the marketing team technically, but it was a half. Like it seemed like it was like a sales and marketing role. So like the title said, athletes and partnerships executive. I was dealing with the influencers and the affiliates that were signed on with us. So they would be sent like free products, and they will like promote us, and they'll get like 10% commission if their viewers buy through our code.
Anyone notable that we might know?
Oh, nah, probably not.
They're that like niche.
Yeah, it's a little bit niche. Actually, like I don't really remember the portfolio, and also rather not say it just in case there's like a NDA thing. Because I think there was. Yeah, the owner was a corporate defense lawyer, so I'm just
come after you.
Yeah, he'll probably come after me, bro. Oh, actually, no. One influencer. Do you know Zach Perner?
No.
He's like I think he's the biggest Aussie influencer in terms of like the fitness space and all that. He's located in Melbourne. Like young guy. He's like our age.
Okay. How many followers does he have?
I think now he's probably over 1 million. But
damn.
yeah, at the time probably had like 600-700K. But
damn, still a lot.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's like a super nice guy on camera, like from what you can see, and met him in real life. He was like the exact same guy.
Same, yeah,
super nice. Yeah.
So do you actually go out and look for people to partner with?
So on Instagram.
Oh, you do that?
Yeah. So I'll go on Instagram. I would like scroll through like just the explore page, or I'll like type in certain hashtags.
Hashtag fitness.
Yeah. So I'll just go and I'll just find people. There's also like certain like programs and software that your company can sign up for as well that helps with this stuff. Yeah. So it's like a prospecting for like Instagram type of thing. So you can filter it to what type of audience you want that influencer to have, and then they'll just give you like, let's say, influencers with audiences from 18 to 25 male, for example. And like you can look at the engagement rate, all that stuff. So
don't those numbers come from Meta itself?
I don't know where it comes from, but yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember where it comes from, but yeah. So you could find that, you could filter it, and yeah, I'll just find them through there. And sometimes I'd go on YouTube. There'll also be some guys that I would watch or stumble across, and I'll just like hit them up via Instagram, like on the company's Instagram page, and I would like ask if they're interested, then set up a Zoom call. Have a chat with them, basically sell them the dream of jumping on with the company, and they make their decision on whether they want to jump on. Like it's not always just strictly commission. It could be like a monthly retainer plus commission, depending on how much you really want this person. Yeah. So yeah, it was that, and then working with them to promote new launches, or if there's a specific product we want to push more, like on the e-com site, we'll do that with them. So and come up with campaigns that they can run.
So how would you tailor your conversation with influencers when you go on a Zoom call with them? You try to look for certain interests they have on their account or something? Or
yeah, well, like at first I was just really following a script by watching what my supervisor did. Like he would just go through the whole backstory of the company, blah, 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 like how it came about. But shortly after that, like I started to make my own, and really I just wanted to get to know them. Like, on a personal level, because see what type of person they are, because like I don't want to work with someone that's like a mad robot and has like no personality, because it's just I think for the long run that just wouldn't be too good. Like I wanted someone that was a bit more easier to work with and was open to ideas, like rather than just being like super robotic to me. So I just see how much they open up, and if they're easy to work with, and if they have a good like understanding of what their audience looks like and how they're planning to grow their page, then I will typically like offer them something.
Right.
Yeah, but the best conversations was really just trying to like know them, like where like which city are you based in, because most of them are based in the US. My influencers that I managed, and like which city you based, or where are you based, because in the US like every city's bloody different. They're like, oh yeah, I'm from Connecticut, and like really just digging deep into like, oh yeah, like tell us a bit about like why Connecticut, and just leading the conversation into like something super conversational. Yeah,
I feel like for this kind of thing it's more them trying to sell to you.
A bit of both, because sometimes like you really want this guy because you can see that his demographic on his stats are like, I don't know, like 16 to 25 or 18 to 25, or this girl has like a very massive cult following of girls from like 18 to 25. Her engagement is like 20%, and even though she has it's like a small amount of followers, you can tell that those followers really listen to her based on the engagement on the comments and all that. So they would typically
calculate that engagement rate.
Yeah, there's like a percentage.
Right?
Hey,
I think they should have that on your insights, right? On your post.
Yeah, they'll have it on your insights. Also, like Social Blade will have it.
Social Blade.
I forgot the other software that we used, which was a bit more like accurate, but yeah, it will show the engagement rate, and typically that equates to more sales because the higher the engagement rate, the more impressionable your viewers are in terms of listening to you or like respecting you.
So I know you can tell if someone's bought followers, right? If you check the engagement rate and it's like pathetic.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, like people with like shit ton of followers, but you look at the engagement rate, it's like 0.03% or something, or 0.3%. And you look at the comments, it's all like just spam, bot comments.
Yeah, it's like, wow. And it's like emojis and shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So you can tell pretty easily.
I can tell pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there for a year?
I think it was there for like 8 months.
8 months. What made you move to the next thing?
I actually didn't tell this on my episode. Oh no, on my podcast. But this is my first time actually telling this to the public. I actually got fired.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
I got let go, bro. So it was just when like we had to go back to working from home fully because it was 2021.
You went back to the office?
No. Like we were forced to stay home because of that Omicron strain.
Oh yeah.
So it was around then. So we were in the office. I was working like 2 days from home, 3 days in the office, and then we had to transition to fully remote. And yeah, I got fired in the first week, bro. In the first week of being fully remote, it was pretty weird. So what I thought would be like my dream job, right? I'm working in the industry that I basically do as my hobby.
Fitness industry.
Fun. Like it's fun. You got to speak to influencers. Do these campaigns and stuff. Like it wasn't the best place to work for in terms of like the culture. It's very like, what do you call it? Like, it's basically a contest on whoever could brown nose the CEO the most. And
it's very cliquey.
Yeah, very cliquey. Yeah. Very like just sucking up and like.
Oh, that's not good.
Polishing the person above shoes and all that and all that stuff. Like it was also a bunch of people from like the northern beaches, eastern suburbs as well. Didn't really relate to them too much, and like I don't know, man. It's just like seems like there's a bit of like it just felt like some people treated me differently because I was from where I'm from.
Yeah,
and it just wasn't like a good environment. But also at the same time as well, like. So the work was getting a bit more stressful for me. So this was my first time actually working like a corporate role, right?
Yeah.
It was still a startup and it was a bit like the office was pretty cool, but it was like, I guess, a corporate environment and it was no longer like a customer service type of thing. So for the people who don't know, I actually got diagnosed with ADHD like 2-3 years ago. So like because the workload that I had up to like JD Sports, it wasn't that draining. Like it was very simple, like tasks that I could still do, like really just picking up the phone and just speaking to people. But it was getting hard to manage my workload because of the difficulties that I have due to having like ADHD, such as like poor time management, like lack of I guess like prioritizing guidance. And all that. And just a bunch of stuff that like hindered me. And also at the same time, I didn't really like the environment, like all the other colleagues that I had as well.
So do you find it easier to have like a set of things to do? Is that what you're saying?
I found it
like
easier.
Structure,
yeah. I did. Like the thing is, I didn't know how to structure my time. That was the big thing. Like I knew that I needed to structure my time, but I didn't know how to do it, and I would also procrastinate on doing it. So it's a lot of that, and and just like not being able to like perform tasks properly, like poor executive function. That also led to some like missed tasks. Like I was assigned a task and I guess I just overlooked it. I worked on something else. The place sort of had a poor, I guess, tolerance to not sucking up to people and also like making like small mistakes and shit. So they basically let me go like the first week of working from home. So I was there for like 6-7 months.
There wasn't even like a plan to help you improve at least?
No, not really. Like my supervisor did, right? He was really good. Like still really, really respect him to this day. But like, yeah, the manager was a bit funky and they just basically like let me go. And it was a very high turnover for that place as well. So like a lot of people came and went. Like, it wasn't the best in terms of like the churn rate of employees.
Maybe that was like their way to downsize.
Maybe
just like find like excuses. So they don't have to pay you like redundancy.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's missed this and that. Oh no, we can't have him here.
Yeah, exactly. So it could be that, but at the same time, like I don't know if I'm just feeling like guilt or something like that, but it was just hard for me to like perform those slightly more, I guess, harder tasks because like stuff started to get harder. Like there was more thinking around the tasks that I'm doing. There's more planning. There's more. You have to work on the execution a bit more. So and it was like just so much shit to do as well.
You got fired. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
How long were you in limbo for between jobs?
About like just a couple of months, man. Like I'd say maybe like not a couple. I think it was like half a year.
Half a year. It's a long time, man. Yeah,
half a year or like 3 months. So I took on like a random customer service job, like online as well, work from home later in that year.
I was during COVID, right?
During COVID, yeah. So I just took one just to earn some extra dosh.
Yeah.
But now back to that mate from uni, Kenneth and Rob, the boys that I did the capstone unit with. So I was having a chat to Kenneth one day and he was like, bro, like, what are your next steps, man? Like, what are you going to do? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I'm trying to apply. Like, don't really know what I want to do. Like, if I want to continue in marketing or do something else. And he recently got hired as a like talent acquisition executive, like in HR, recruiting people.
Oh yeah.
For a company called Gartner. So they, people who haven't heard of Gartner, it's like one of the largest advisory firms in the entire world.
Advisory in terms of what?
Well, they have advisory service for every industry. So if you want IT advisory, if you want HR advisory, they're also the biggest like research company when it comes to tech. So you've heard of like Magic Quadrant, where they rank different tech companies based on like if they're innovative leaders or where they place. So a lot of companies use them for that. So they like especially like in FANG as well, they still use the Gartner Magic
FANG
Quadrant,
meaning
like Facebook, fucking
Apple.
What's the other one? Netflix
and Google.
Google, yeah. So they would typically use like Gartner research reports as well, and even a lot of just like massive tech companies like Oracle, they all try to like place in the Magic Quadrant to see where they rank, and they have a bunch of research stuff for tech. But I was recruited there as a I guess like a salesperson from my ex uni from my uni mate Kenneth.
So you're working in sales there. Are you going to businesses and selling the service?
Yeah. So to enterprise. Yeah. So I guess it wasn't too clear. So he asked me what I wanted to do, and I was like, I don't know. He's like, oh, why don't you just apply for this sales development role? It's kind of like a grad program as well, but it's a sales development program. And there's like 3 stages, and the first stage is like level 1, where you're just like doing basic shit, still learning, and then you progress to 2, 3, and then after 3 you become a full-fledged actual salesperson and start earning like the big bucks. So yeah, in the world of like B2B sales, especially in like the tech space as well, there's something called a sales development rep or business development rep,
right?
And then there's an account executive. The sales development rep / business development rep, BDR for short, they basically appointment setters. So they prospect for leads, they look for key buyers, and they'll pitch them and try to set up a meeting with the account executive. The account executive will start the sales process and close.
So they're like glorified admin assistants.
Kinda, but it's not really glorified because you still have to make a sale, because that first 2 minutes of you first speaking to someone is the hardest, because they're like, what the hell, this guy's calling me out of the blue. So that's actually one of the hardest parts.
You've done that, right? You're at that stage?
So I was cold calling. So it was a cold calling role and setting appointments for an account executive to close the business.
Man, that must have been rough.
Yeah. So that was like my first sort of taste in cold calling. I guess we had a bit of that with EHP Labs, because I was hitting influencers out of the blue and then talking to them.
Oh, yeah.
But there was
Yeah.
like, well, yes, I was going to say that there's already a name established with that company, but at the same time, Gartner also has a name established.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, I started that role at the start of 2022.
Yeah.
2022. So, yeah, I was there for a good like 8 months, and it was around just like cold calling, trying to set appointments, like prospecting on LinkedIn, a bunch of that. So that was my first taste into B2B, like corporate or slash enterprise
Is
sales.
that environment not toxic at all?
Not really, actually. It could be, it can be, but not really. So the funny thing is that it was a sales development program. So we had a bunch of like people from like that are fresh out of uni, or like just finished uni. I don't know, sorry, just finished uni, or like people who might even still be in uni and all that. So it's just a bunch of young guys just trying to, make some dollars. And yeah, it was a pretty funny environment. It wasn't too hostile or anything, because we were assigned different territories, assigned different account executives to work with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty cool, but it was also like super corporate, like follow the rules and all that stuff, like very uptight, like old corporate type of environment.
Yeah.
Because they've been around for like 30, 40 years. So it's really, really established, and
They got the formula down.
the formula down and everything. It's like
Yeah.
everything is their way. There's no other like method. You have to do it the Gartner way.
No, I can't deal with that.
Yeah, it was a good learning experience, man. It was a good learning experience. Like got me like got my foot in the door and got a taste of it. And yeah, the training was pretty good, but at the same time, like I don't think I thrive too much in like massive corporate environments like that, where you have to like I don't even know what the word is, but
Wait, like a cog in the machine?
like yeah, compared to like, let's say
Small
working for a
fish.
startup
Yeah,
compared to like, let's say a late stage startup that maybe have like 1,000 people, or like 500 to 1,000 people, and compared to like a company with like 5,000 people, and they have to enforce a lot more rules. Everything's a lot more strict and all that. So, and it was a lot more corporate, like suit and tie type of thing. So yeah, not that we really, oh no, we did wear like dress up shirts, but I didn't really have to wear a suit and tie, but it was
kind of annoying because you're on
yeah.
the phones. Who's
exactly.
gonna know?
Yeah.
How did you deal with the rejection? Because I know that would have come up like 1,000 times. They call up and be like, "Who the fuck are you, bro?" And just hang up. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Like,
good
no, I don't
question.
want to talk to you.
Yeah, good question, man. Like, I didn't deal with it like that well at the start, because it sucks, bro. It sucks to get like just asked who the hell are you and hung up on, but it's all about just exposure therapy.
Yeah, you
And-
must have gotten numb to it at some point.
Not completely numb. I'm still not completely numb to it till this day,
Yeah,
but it's just like, it's just part of the job, right? It's all just part of the job. And how I like to think about it is that, like, would I rather have this type of suck, or would I rather be working a construction job in 40-degree heat and have that type of suck? There's nothing wrong with the construction job. Like,
Yeah.
obviously you can make big money from it, but
some people prefer that.
exactly, some people prefer that. You can make a lot of money from being in construction, but I think I'd rather the suck of getting rejected than being outside in 40 degrees and like laying bricks. So that sort of helped my mentality a bit. And yeah, it's all just a part of the role. So even though I didn't like it, I still told myself that I just had to do it, bro. Yeah.
Well, what's some advice you would give? Because if I were to start, I'm not saying I would. Let's say if someone were to start doing some cold calling, man, what's the one thing or maybe some tips you would give to someone?
Some tips would be to perfect the first 5 seconds of your pitch. So what you're gonna say, like,
So I pick up.
have some planning.
Hello? What do you say?
Hey Tung, you looking nice today? No.
You don't know who I am. Oh, maybe you do. You've done
Yeah,
research
yeah.
on who owns the number or whatever.
Yeah. It's I would like my preferred opener nowadays is just I do play around with a few different ones, but
Yeah.
let's say if I was to call you, I'll typically do a bit of research on you first.
Okay.
And it's like and like what your position is, like where your role is and all that, where your role is. But I'll typically go like, hey Tung, this is I never go, hey you going anymore. I just go, hey Tung, this is
yeah.
Lawrence from XYZ company.
Yeah.
Have you heard the name thrown around?
Donor
Oh, sorry. Have you heard the name thrown around?
thrown around.
Yeah. So,
no.
or like, have you heard the name before? You know what I mean? So that's
Never heard of it.
never heard of it. Oh, that's really odd, because like a lot of your peers, especially in the IT space, like do utilize us. So, Have you thought about the problem that we solve? And then I'll obviously put the problem that we solve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
And
it kind
what
of
you're doing
builds
around
it
it.
from there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So never go like how you going, because like
No.
by default you're like,
Everyone's
okay,
on
this guy's
edge.
trying to bloody sell me something, bro.
Yeah,
And you don't
yeah.
really care.
Like the first thing I always ask when I get an unknown number, they ask me how I'm going. I'm like, good. Who's this?
Yeah.
Like I'm always like defensive.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
who the fuck this is. What do they want?
Look, sometimes I still do say it because it's very intuitive and it's very like it's a habit that is like stuck in my head. Because, but
you kind of do that
you
naturally.
gotta prepare to just not say it. Yeah.
And then just people that go, nah, shut up, man. I don't want to talk to you.
You
Visualize.
get some people here and then, but if you're really trying to sell them a solution to their pain point, then they'll typically stay on the line. Yeah. You got to find what their pain point is.
So you got to do a lot of research then.
Not
figure that out.
not a lot, but obviously know about the industry, know about the company, and what trends that industry might be facing.
So what's an example of a solution you're trying to solve? Like you searched up some tech company,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're using like old software to manage their tickets or something. Is that a thing?
I guess so, but I guess it depends on the product I'm trying to solve.
Yeah.
But
What's an example?
example would be like, let's say we'll take like cybersecurity, like
Okay.
password management for an example, right?
Oh, what a coincidence.
Yeah. Password management for an
We'll
example.
get into that later.
Yeah. So password management, for example, right? So the problem that you're typically trying to solve is, especially you being in IT. So I don't know if you deal with this, but it'll be like visibility amongst employees and making sure they're not using ABC123 as their passwords or stuff that are easily socially engineered.
Of course.
Yeah. So you want that visibility and you want to make sure that people aren't doing that. And so that's the problem, because the risk of that problem is you getting fired because you're the IT guy or cybersecurity manager,
Yeah.
and you're meant to ensure like people, you're meant to basically block the threat actors from coming into your organization,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So that's your role, or you're going to get sacked. So basically trying to dig into that. And if let's say you go like, oh, nah, I don't really want to deal with this. Like, but like what happens if your company gets breached because someone uses a weak password? It's like, oh, it won't be good. I'm like, that'll be on you, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Put the onus on them.
Yeah, exactly. Like that'll be on you, right? It's like, I guess so. It's like, then why would you want that risk?
Oh. What's your solution? Please tell me.
Yeah, exactly. So really, selling is all really about like, it's not about like swindling people as like when you think about salespeople typically get a bad rap because of like used car salespeople.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe like some like Jordan Belfort, for example, from Wolf of Wall Street, where he's like high off his mind and just selling people penny stocks and all that.
Yeah, you got to buy this. What was
Yeah.
it? The airspace
Exactly.
company. It's like a shed.
Yeah. So it's like selling. It's like a two-way dance with the customer. Like they need to be willing to understand more, and they need to be like open to buying that solution or really need it. And then you need to be able to find out what their pain points are and be able to solve those points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what were you selling from Gartner? Because I thought they were the consultants.
Yeah. So
In my head, I'm thinking of like pretty charts from like the big four.
Yeah.
Where they do analysis on
So
your
there are
company.
three parts of their business. There's like the research part where they release like Magic Quadrants, research reports. There's events. So they like they host a lot of massive like tech events. Like it could be a cybersecurity summit, a marketing summit, whatever. So they hold that. And the other side would be their advisory services. And that's split into half. One half is tech advisory. So they'll basically provide like IT leaders advisory, and the other half would be the rest of the verticals. So like it could be HR, marketing, whatever. So I was selling the HR advisory services.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a bit like not airy fairy, but it's not super tangible. So it's kind of hard for people to picture it. But a good example would be like a good thing to compare it to would be like consultancy. So paying like the big four consultancy firms to come in and do a IT project, or no, we'll use HR project, or maybe to improve a HR system or something, or bringing them in to improve company culture. So consultants are super expensive, as you may know, like a couple $100, maybe thousands of dollars per hour. But with advisory, we don't do the work for you. but we provide advice and actionable insights for you to apply yourself. So the selling point is that you'll end up knowing how to do it yourself, and those skills will stay with you for the rest of your HR career.
Yeah. So it's better than what the Big Four are selling you.
I wouldn't say it's better, right? It just depends on what you want and if you have the time to go through advisory and do the project yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a bit more like hand holding opposed to doing the whole project for you.
Oh, okay, like outsourcing it.
Yeah,
entirely.
Exactly. So you pay per seat, and it wasn't cheap, bro. It was super expensive, man. It could start from like 20-30 grand per seat per year. So like
Holy
meaning
shit.
only one person has access. Like one seat meaning one person has access to it in the company.
Access to the software,
To the portal, and also to the advisors.
what the fuck? It's so weird. That's why they're just account share, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
It's probably a thing, right?
Yeah.
Can you reveal how good was commission for this sort of thing? 20-30 grand. Surely it was pretty lucrative to start selling.
For me,
this.
I wasn't actually selling it. So I was a business development rep.
Yeah.
And I was working with an account executive who got the commission. So I didn't get any commission from this. They
Damn,
had
that
quarterly
sucks.
bonuses. Yeah. It was part of the program. It was like a sales development program. And at the end, I guess you get to become an account executive.
Yeah.
And that's when you start earning the big bucks, Yeah.
You did eventually become one, right? You were an account management associate.
So that's what my position was. It's like, it's similar to a business development rep, but there was more like, I guess, internal account management as well, along with new business. So it was, I just didn't want to say account management associate because that's not really a widely known term in the tech sales space. So it's typically BDR, SDR, but that Gartner just worked a little bit differently.
So you never moved to the next stage at the company?
No. So it was getting a bit mundane, and it just wasn't a good, no, not saying it wasn't a good product. It just wasn't my type of product that I wanted to sell.
Or you were really passionate about it.
Yeah, I wasn't super passionate about it, man. Like I wanted to sell something a bit more tangible, because this was just like selling an idea, right? Selling an advisory service and a portal and everything. Like it's somewhat tangible, but not really. Like you don't really see the ROI unless they like actually do the project and then they see it themselves. So you don't really see an immediate improvement in it. So and the conversations were getting a bit like mundane. It just wasn't vibing with me. So
it seems pretty repetitive, right?
Yeah, it's a bit repetitive, and it wasn't something that I liked.
I don't know if you've seen this video about cold call training with Grant Cardone in the boiler
I think
room.
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah.
This is like one of the worst environments to work in.
Yeah, he's a weirdo, bro.
Isn't it like a cult? It's like he sounds like an MLM scheme or something.
Something like that. Yeah, I don't really like watch his stuff.
Yeah, it's a 15-minute video of like some guy who's recording himself doing some cold call training in the Grant Cardone office, and he's like going through the script and stuff. He gets a mentor, and I remember at some point in the video he like asked him a question. He's like, so what do I do about this part? And then the guy, the mentor is like, I don't know, man, you figure it out. Like, what the fuck? Oh, like, what kind of fucking mentor is this guy?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one, but I've seen like multiple Grant Cardone videos.
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you do have the time, I'll link it in the episode description below. Have a look at it. And I hope that wasn't the same kind of environment.
No,
they're doing the same thing. Like he's setting up appointments.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of role you're doing.
Yep.
But probably in a worse environment.
Yeah, it's not that environment. It's like because we had a bunch of people that were like just starting their sales career. So they had like a lot of training. Like they had a bunch of stuff. Like we would do call blocks together where our manager would just sit in a room, and then they'll just we'll just go round robin in a circle and call. And like even if it is a crap call, like we learn from it, we have a laugh from it. Like, sometimes people will say something like super like embarrassing, and I was just speaking like this tone that we've never heard them speak in before because they're just under so much pressure.
And the weirdest customer service voice.
And we just all have a laugh about it at the end, and it was a good environment for learning because we all were just like, I don't want to do this, well we got to do it. So like having that fun environment where just going in a circle, we're just doing the calls was just so funny. Yeah. So it wasn't like that. It wasn't like super rough and cutthroat. No.
That's good. Yeah. Because I think a lot of sales gigs you typically hear about, they're, I don't know, maybe in car sales, like trying to steal this guy's customer so you can sell the car to him or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I guess it's different when it's B2B.
Yeah, it's a bit different because you get territories.
Yeah.
So let's say we'll take Australia for example, and if you've got like five salespeople just for the ease of this conversation.
Yeah.
Actually 6. I forgot about Tasmania. Oh no, is it 6? No,
States?
No, 7, right? 7.
Yeah, let's go through it. New South Wales, Queensland,
Yeah.
Northern Territory,
Yep. WA.
WA, SA,
SA.
Tas, ACT?
ACT. Yeah. Did you say Victoria?
Oh, Victoria.
8.
It's 8. Dude, are we dumb? This is why we like barely passed uni.
Yeah.
And we got shit ATARs and we dropped out of the Year 7 gifted and talented class.
Gifted and talented.
Let's
my
Google
ass,
it real
bro.
quick. What is it? I'm going to let you guys in the car
Oh my gosh.
have a think.
Yeah.
How many states?
I can't believe we're doing this right now. Like,
Dude,
what?
It's 6?
Bro, well, how did we get 8, bro?
I think we're just thinking too deep. NSW, Victoria, Queensland, WA, SA, Tas. And the 2 internal territories, Northern Territory
What do you?
and ACT. Wait,
What is this, bro?
Is this even right? Britannica Kids.
Mate, they're teaching the kids some weird shit nowadays.
There's no way
That's
that
why
makes
they've
sense.
got brain rot.
Is it brain rot?
Yeah.
Does Australia have 7, 8 states? It's saying no. Australia has 6 states and 2 territories.
Oh, Northern Territory and ACT. So you've got 8 basically, I guess, just for the.
So what state does NT fall under? It's not even a state.
It's a territory, but I guess we can say it's a state. We learned it as a state,
it's
right?
a state.
Like it's a state. Well, we just say it's a state for the basics.
So we were right.
Like,
It's
yeah,
8.
It's 8. That's
And
just like getting too technical.
All right.
Yeah, it's getting too technical with that.
We're not completely dumb, I hope. I don't know what everyone else's answer was, but ours is 8.
Yeah,
in that
man.
regard.
But fine, we'll say like, yeah, you got 8 salespeople for the sake of the conversation.
Yeah.
And one guy will get Queensland, one guy will get WA, so on, so on. So they will never touch each other's customers unless there's like some verification issue where like that business has something built in like WA, but their business is actually in like Victoria or something. But yeah, that's how they prevent people from stepping into other territories.
Well, what I want to know is how do you find companies? Because there's
question.
probably like fucking thousands and thousands of companies. How do you know what to even filter it down to, or
Good question.
how does
So
that work?
you've got LinkedIn, but there's also another product that LinkedIn has called LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So that's like bought by sales teams, and they'll get a license for each employee typically, and that is a different web page and all that, and you can put a bunch of filters that you can't put on LinkedIn, and it's basically built for sales. So you can put in what your organization is, and they'll also use like the data from LinkedIn as well to see what companies are researching your company. So let's say you work for XYZ company, and you started researching ABC company on LinkedIn and start looking at shit. In Sales Navigator, if I put my company as ABC company, I can see that XYZ employees from XYZ company is
looked you up.
Is looking me up. Yep. They're
Oh.
not looking me up, but looking the company up, doing research into your company.
Yeah.
So there might be a higher propensity to buy.
Yeah, right. Oh, I didn't know that was an option on LinkedIn.
It's LinkedIn Sales Navigator, so it's a completely separate product.
It's not premium.
It's not premium. Yeah, you have to buy it. Like you have to buy it, or your company needs to buy it for you.
How much does it cost?
I actually don't
corporate
know.
license?
I don't pay for it, so my company pays for it.
No, I was always curious. It's
Yeah.
like, fuck, how much are these people charging for this kind of service?
I think you might be like, I was thinking like $60 something like per year, but I think that's too cheap, bro.
No way, not for a business. I was thinking like 1,000 per user or something.
I thought it was like $60 something per user per year, but I could be wrong.
I think that's premium. LinkedIn
Might
premium.
be, yeah. See, I don't pay for it, so I don't know. But
might be interesting to know.
yeah, well, with that, there's a bunch of stuff you can do. Like you can search via vertical, you can search via geography. So yeah, that's how you typically.
What's
find
vertical?
Industry, so finance, insurance, whatever. Yeah.
And all right, so you were there. So it became too monotonous. And did you shift straight away to the next job after that?
Yeah. I shifted over to my next role at a cyber company called Lastpass.
Oh yes, that's where you are now.
Yeah, that's where I am now.
The past was like 2 years.
2 and a bit years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 and a bit years.
How are you finding that?
It's good, man. It's good. So, like I said, I wanted to sell something a bit more tangible, and I wanted to move into SaaS. So I always hear like good things about working for a tech company.
Software as a service.
Yeah, software as a service.
That's where the cash is at, bro. That's what I hear. Yeah.
That is like, it's not as the glory days are kind of over, because I think during COVID, that's when like the glory days were, like from my knowledge of for SaaS companies, because everyone was like shifting to remote work, and you just needed to get so much software, right? Cyber and like remote work software was like the biggest things that companies would get. So like salespeople then were just raking it up, bro. It was basically just order taking, and like it was a buffet. It's a buffet, man.
People just like, oh, give me, I want this license, and you take in like half the commission.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's still a sales component to it, because there are other competitors.
But there were people lining up outside the door.
Yeah,
to see what you were selling.
Basically, yeah. But there are other competitors. I didn't work during those glory days, like of start of 2020. So I wasn't at Lastpass yet. I wasn't in SaaS yet, because I think just when he rolled over from like this January 2020 to like February, when everything shut down, I think that's when like, you know, Zoom and stuff started like increasing their market share. Bunch of that. So they would have been basically order taking, because you need it. You need that solution to like.
Well, just for context for people that might not know, what is Lastpass?
It's a password management software. So for personal use and also employees. So I work on the B2B side, and it allows IT professionals to be able to ensure their employees aren't using weak passwords.
Oh yeah. You just need to remember one password.
Lastpass is the only password you'll ever need.
Yeah. or as many other password managers that are out there. That's what you would do. And I do recommend one, because I remember just having the one password, and then I'd be like, dude, if something happens, all my accounts are gone. Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, this is ridiculous. So I remember like finally switching to Bitwarden. Oh, actually, I was at Lastpass.
Yeah, you were at Lastpass, yeah.
This is before they changed it. So it used to be free, and you had like 6 devices or something, like unlimited devices where it was free. And then they changed it. You had to do the paid option to get more devices. But while it was free, I remember using it to like slowly change my passwords for like all these sites I had saved on my Chrome. And it took me so long. But honestly, I feel so much better after doing it. I do recommend it. Yeah, I eventually swapped over to Bitwarden because it does cost money. Because LastPass costs money. I'm sorry I betrayed you. Yeah. Sorry, and I know LastPass has been in the news a few times. Yeah. For like data breaches and stuff. Like it's a bit risky. Yeah. And I'm probably like pitching Bitwarden over Lawrence's company now, where it's different. It's open source. Granted, it's not the silver bullet for everything. If the software is open source, and it's just free. So that's why I prefer it over LastPass.
Like, there's different products for a reason. Like it depends on the UI. You might prefer this UI over that. So yeah, it's not for everyone, and like that's okay. Yeah, especially guys in IT and engineering, they tend to prefer Bitwarden due to that open source nature. Yeah, so it gives them a bit more like peace of mind that way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's fair enough.
So you reach out to all these companies that you find on LinkedIn. Yeah. And then what's your opening? I'm kind of curious here. So was it the Oh no, it was the
yeah, it was similar to basically the one that we went through earlier. Yeah. But at the same time as well, it's not just cold calling, right? So depending on the company that you work for, especially in the tech space, typically they have a pretty good marketing engine. If it's a developed company, and you get a lot of inbound leads, trials, webinars and stuff. So there's ways that marketing can make the lead a lot more warm for you. So it doesn't always have to be cold, but obviously good to do some cold prospecting as well if you really just want to work with a specific company or a certain vertical that you just want to target. Because maybe you're just good at selling to people in finance. So you'll start just targeting finance companies, right? So maybe you have a background in something and you just know the pain points. So yeah, but if you work for a company with a good marketing funnel, then yeah, you can get a lot of inbound leads.
Do you ever do email for sales leads?
Yeah.
Because they're annoying, man.
Yeah, I do email. Yeah.
It's why am I getting emails? Back when I was a service desk lackey in level 1, I would get emails how's your IT system? Are there ways we can improve it? In my spam. I'm why the fuck are you emailing me, bro? I'm the lowest guy on the ladder. I have no power over this. Yeah. It's just weird. I don't know. Why are these people emailing me?
Oh, well, there's a few things, right? What I've been taught when it comes to selling, it's you have to multi-thread, meaning like for a business to make a decision, it's not just one person, right? Yeah, maybe like selling you a rice cooker at Bing Lee, only you need to make a decision, or maybe your wife or girlfriend needs to because she makes the rice. So in a business setting, you have a whole board of executives, you have a bunch of C-levels. Like you might just be selling to the head. You might just be talking to the head of IT or the CTO, but he needs to go to finance to get approval. They also need to go to procurement. They need to ask the CEO. So there's a bunch of people, but also along with that as well, the thing maybe the reason why you might have gotten hit up as well is because we like to target multiple levels. Like we like to target like maybe someone that's in a sort of level 2, level 3 position, and like see what their thoughts are about it, and that helps us get more information. Yeah, and it gets us more information on potentially solving the problem, and then bringing that up to the actual influencer / decision maker.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I never really respond to these emails. Yeah. It's so useless to me. Like, I got things to do, bro.
Yeah. Or maybe the person just thought that you were like the boss man and you just looked like the guy who held all the money.
How do they see that? Like, there's no way.
I don't know, man. Like, you've got like, don't you have like founder in your LinkedIn bio with Rice and Mike? So maybe they saw that and the guy just like misread it. Oh, this guy's the founder of this company.
Of the New South Wales government.
New South Wales
that I work for, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. He's the founder, bro. Yeah. Hey, can you cut some of my tax rates?
Yeah. I wish I could for myself, bro. Shit, that'd be nice. So usually with these kind of gigs, they give you salary and then there's like
commission,
uncapped commission at some point. Do you find that you need to work extra hours, like a lot of hours to be able to reach these targets? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe you have like a bonus setup or something that could be quite high. So
in the world of tech sales, it's called OTE, on target earnings. So that's inclusive of your salary. So let's say 100K OTE, that could be split like 50-50 or like 50K salary, 50K commission, or it could be like 70-30. Really depends on the company that you work for. And what that OTE is that they'll sort of use that to calculate your targets, right? Yeah. So let's say you've got a quota of also 100K for that amount. So let's say if you've sold 100K of stuff, you get that whole 50K commission portion, basically. So that's how it works, and then that's sort of how they calculate the rate as well, I think. So, yeah.
It sounds like it's better to have a base salary, higher base salary and a lower OTE?
Well, I think you'd rather have it 50-50.
Wouldn't it be better? Because if you don't hit it, then the rate's higher, like your salary's higher, right?
So like the thing is that your salary might not share. Maybe I butchered the explanation a bit. So it's better to have like a 50-50 OTE. Like,
yeah, so let's say like 50K base salary, 50K OT. But in my head, I'm like, doesn't that sound like it's more risk for the same amount of money? Because if you don't hit it, you make a 50K salary. But if you have a 70-30, you have a 70K salary, 30K OTE. If you don't hit it, then you're still making 70K. Yeah, but that's what it sounds like.
The thing is that like with the higher base, typically, if the higher the base, the higher the target they'll set you. So the actual dollar amount that you actually have to hit to get your OT, because it's to make up for the money that they're paying you typically.
That doesn't make sense though.
Yeah. Maybe I butchered the explanation there. So yeah, let's say if you're getting paid a higher salary, like let's say, we'll take the 100K for example, and if you're getting paid 70,000 salary and then 30K commission.
Yeah.
Right. So what they'll do is that they'll probably increase your target amount and then maybe reduce the variable rate that you get for commission. So it could drop from like 15% to like 7% or something.
Yeah. So the OTEs on top is separate from the commission that you're getting, right?
Yeah. So the OTE is the whole thing. So it's like, let's say your OTE on target earnings is 100K.
Yeah.
And the split is 70K base and 30K commission. So you're guaranteed to get 70.
Yeah.
Because that's your base. That's your salary. But the 30K, you have to work for it. You have to sell for it.
Yeah. And then commission on the side, just whatever.
So that's your commission. The 30K is your commission portion.
It is the commission.
Is the commission portion.
So what if you sell more?
If you sell more, then you just get more.
You get more?
You get more,
So it's not capped.
It's not capped. Well, depending on the company.
Yeah.
If it's uncapped, if they say it's uncapped, then it's uncapped.
Yeah.
So after you've hit your 100% target, like, or after you've hit that 30K, you can still earn more than that. Like, just depending on what rate they pay you.
Right. So it's 30K in commission.
In commission.
You need to sell?
So,
or is it?
30K in commission that you can receive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your let's say if you've hit all your targets, right? You hit your entire quota. I don't know what that quota would be. It could it could range from 100K
so
to 200K.
it doesn't mean 30K in commission, right?
It means 30K in commission.
I mean, okay.
So let's say let's say they're like, hey Tung, if you sell 100K this entire year, you'll get 30K in commission.
Oh, right.
So your commission portion is, I guess, like 30%, right?
Of the 100K that you sold.
100K,
Yeah. Okay.
But like usually in like account executive or selling positions, the OT typically is 50-50. Like, so let's say if you're making 70K, let's say your OT is 150K, it'll be 75K base, 75K commission.
And this is over time, right? No, this is at the end of the financial year, right?
Yeah.
So you're getting paid 75K for the year, and then when the financial year comes in, you just get this massive chunk of 75.
No, sorry. No, you get
How
paid
does it
per
work?
month.
Per month.
Per month, yeah.
So depending on whatever commission you make,
Yeah,
they'll throw it in.
exactly.
But what if you don't hit the target? Like if you get 80% of, let's say your splits, make it easier, 50-50. So you're earning $50,000 salary and you got 50K in OTE. Let's say I only make 30,000 in commission. So all up I make 80K.
Yep.
Do I keep that?
You keep that. If you only made 80% of your number, you get 80% of 50 grand.
So I only make 80K.
Yes, you only make 80K.
No, sorry. So if I only make half of it, so it's 75.
Yes. If you only make half of it, half of your commission.
If I don't reach the target,
depending.
so I'd make 75K.
Yes, if you hit. Fuck, I'm so confused with these numbers now.
I know.
So we're using 100K OTE,
As
50K base. Okay.
Yeah, 100K all up. So 50K base salary, 50K OTE, and I only make 25K in commission. So that's halfway.
That's halfway, yeah.
To 100 in that split. So I get to keep that portion even if I don't hit the target.
Yeah, you get to keep that portion.
But you kind of get in like trouble because you didn't hit the target.
Yeah, if you consistently don't hit your targets, then they'll be like, hey mate, what's going on, bro? Like we're gonna have to put you on a performance improvement plan or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's not favorable if you just hit 50%.
Okay. Right. So that's like what you ideally should be hitting.
Yes, ideally. Like I think the market average nowadays for like tech sales, it's from what I've heard, from what my manager said, it was around like 70 to 80, like 70%. That's the market average. So reps are typically making 70% of their quota.
Okay, so they're not even hitting the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the average. The average or the median. I don't know, one of those. So like not every rep is hitting like 100%. Like not even most reps.
Oh wait, that surprises me. I had this thing in my head where everyone was supposed to hit it. It was like kind of a KPI.
Yeah, I didn't even hit 100% last year. So yeah.
Oh, were you close at least?
No, it was my first year, so I think I got like 60 something.
Is that good for a first year?
Well, there were a few challenges as well, like on my end. So in terms of like new territory and all that stuff, I won't go into the details, but from what my manager said, it was all right. It was okay. It definitely picked up like towards the tail end of the year. Yeah, and it's been like a good start to this year, but it was just a few like territory challenges and all that stuff.
What territory do you have?
I have I don't know if I'm allowed to discuss this, bro.
Is it another country? Is it Australia?
It's Australia. It's in Australia.
Oh, it's Australia. Okay.
Australia,
yeah. Because I know you do fly out overseas for work.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's because you have like accounts in the US or something.
Yeah, no, my territory is like within APAC.
Okay. Yeah. What made you stick with this company for 2 years? Because usually you move around a lot, right?
Yeah, typically move around a lot, but I just really like the culture. It's like a very good place to work for. And at the time, they were still like under a company called Log Me In. Oh, yeah. So they were a product there, and Log Me In.
LMI.
Yeah, LMI. Yeah. So they rebranded to Go2, but they've recently rebranded back to Log Me In. So that it was like ranked one of the best places, like top 10 or top 5 places to work for in like for multiple years. Like the culture is good, people are nice, like the product works. There's a need for it, and yeah, man, it's just I just really enjoy working for the company, and like the product sells, and like there's like we obviously still have to sell, but like having that recognized name because it's one of the top password managers in the industry, it helps me get the foot in the door because most people in IT would have already heard of it. Yeah. Do you find that if you put, I don't know, how much effort do you think you would need
to reach past the OTE?
How much effort?
Yeah. Because they say uncapped, right?
Yeah.
Uncapped potential. And then people are like, oh, okay, like what if I put in extra hours and then I'll like effectively double the OT or whatever? It's like, is that pretty rare?
Well,
People would double that?
a lot of it comes down to, like hard work is definitely number one, like, but also smart work, like not wasting your time with people who might not buy, like not being too emotionally invested into deals, because it takes a lot of emotion, right? Like, imagine managing like 30, 40, like maybe 20, 30 deals in your pipeline. Or if maybe you're a commercial rep or enterprise rep, you would probably have a little bit less in the pipeline. Maybe you're managing like 10 to 15 deals, but they're all at like a couple $100,000 each.
Yeah.
And it's like managing multiple relationships. Imagine trying to manage like 10 girlfriends, right? And one is not really giving you much, but for some reason, you're still holding on to them and you're still trying to talk to them, but they're being super cold to you and you're investing so much emotion into there and it drains you, right? Like, but you could be like shifting your efforts to those buyers that have a higher propensity to buy. There's a stronger pain point. There's a stronger need, right? And just don't be too emotionally invested, because at the end of the day, you will have to like clear some people from your pipeline. You're not going to sell to everyone, and being able to recognize and disqualify them out early is the biggest thing that a lot of reps, like good reps, should be able to do. Like disqualify early and not waste their time like trying to sell to someone like who won't buy, basically. Was
that one of the mistakes you might have made when you first started?
Yes, yeah. Especially because I started there as a business development rep, so BDR. It was a very high velocity. I was just calling people, hey bro, let's have a meeting with my colleague, my account executive, blah, blah, blah. And it's just very high velocity. But when I started managing deals on my own and having to close them, like especially the bigger deals that would come through that had like a higher contract value, I wouldn't want to let it go. Even though maybe the pain point wasn't there and the priority wasn't there, I wasn't talking to the right person. I was like, no, it's going to happen, man. Like I was getting sort of blinded by that. And maybe at the time, like the person I was speaking to was just feeding me what I wanted to hear, like giving me happy ears, I wasn't being too good at qualifying them out. So yeah, that's probably what led to a bit of hiccups towards the first part of the year.
Any other mistakes you might have run along the way?
I think that'll be the biggest one, just taking the emotion out of selling. Yeah.
Right. Do you think with the rise of AI, it's made your job easier?
Yes,
because now you can just be like, tell me in simple terms this company and what their needs are. Yeah. Right before you jump on the call with them or something.
Yeah. It definitely has, man. Like, it will give me like a rough, I think, but also it helps with like the AI has integrated in certain platforms that we use as well, and like it helps make like that workflow a lot easier when it comes to like prospecting as well. And telling me a bit more about what common pain points would this certain persona have. Like what would an IT manager be annoyed about? and utilizing that towards my track.
It builds a good foundation.
It does.
That's what I found. Yeah. It does. Like if I need to write an email, for example, I might be like, can you check if the tone is good or something? Or could it be worded if I'm sending it to, let's say, like a manager or something like that. Yeah. There's so many ways you can help utilize it.
And there's also like AI integrated in like call recording software as well.
Oh, wow.
So it'll break down like what you discussed in the call with the client and like what things you could probably improve on if you ask it. Oh, wow,
gives feedback as well.
Yeah, they've recently integrated that so you can ask anything about that call.
Is that in your company now? Like they utilize it?
There's like certain softwares that your company can purchase to
help you record. So but you guys don't use it?
I guess we do. Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about the tech stack. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it like confidential or something?
Yeah, it's just like, rather not.
All right.
Yeah.
And how do you maintain these relationships with your clients? Because I assume because it's a subscription-based model, you're not just selling it to a company for a year. You want to maintain that and keep it going, right?
That's not on me. That's on renewals. So I'm doing predominantly new business and expansion.
Oh man, there's so many different teams. What the hell?
Yeah, there's like renewals. Because like it's SaaS at the end of the day, like there's not much involved in terms of the renewals unless they like a high contract value. If they have a very high contract value, then they'll be assigned like something like a customer success manager, and they will be the ones ensuring the adoption rate of the solution is the highest that they can get it to. So if they've bought 1,000 licenses and they have 1,000 employees, they want to make sure that number of usage is as close to 1,000 as possible, because high adoption, high usage is like more stickiness between us, and then the churn rate will obviously be lower because of that.
So it's like a retention team as well, right? If they want to cancel,
there'll be like a renewals team sort of thing.
Part of the same one.
Yeah, part of the same one. So
they call up, I want to cancel, and they'll be like, oh, all right, let's look at what you're paying. Let's work something out.
Yeah, but I tell them that I'm like just I typically tell my customers like, oh yeah, I'm the point of contact. Like if you have any questions or whatever, just come to me, because they don't like customers don't really like being handed off to someone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, after they've just gone through like a sales cycle, like being handed off over to someone else.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, just like maintain a relationship. There's not too much that I need to do on my end, because look, at the end of the day, it's software. It's pretty self-serviceable, especially if you've got an IT team.
Yeah. All right. Any other like funny or unusual stories from your time in sales? I mean, not just in Lastpass, but like other
funny stories, aspects. Man. Yeah, I got a lot, man. Like I think the one that I can think on top of my head was at Bingley. Like I had so many funny stories there. Like you get more funny stories in B2C sales opposed to B2B.
Oh,
like, yeah. B2B you're dealing with like a bunch of executives.
They've got to be professional.
Professional and stuff. But I do sell to IT people, so they're like, pretty chill. Like they like to banter a bit. So but anyways, back in like Bingley, bro, I was selling most of the computers and like handheld like tablets and all that. So that was my section that I looked after. And also because all the other salespeople were a bunch of boomers that started in like the 90s and 80s. Then you had to sell with like TVs and like all that. They're like, what is this RAM stuff? Like, Lawrence, bro, you're going to have to sell it, man. So, all right. So I was looking after that section, and after like, it was like a Monday or something. I was like, usually I'd have to like clean up the place, do a bunch of like new like pricing and all that. And after doing that all morning, I was like, fuck, finally time to go to lunch. I was about to head off to lunch. And like my colleague was like, "Hey, Lawrence, don't go yet. This guy, like someone needs your help. Like, he wants to buy a laptop." I was like, "Fuck!" And I wait, and I looked at the guy, and the guy looked a bit like, I don't know. As bad as it sounds, when you work in that environment, you sort of like develop these personas, and like what you kind of have a whiff on like what type of people will like sort of waste your time based off their appearance.
Oh, here we go.
Right? Yeah. You have this. It's like you don't want to do it, but you just end up creating these personas like, oh, this type of person, they're not going to buy. I'm not going to deal with them. But I was just like, oh, fuck it. I'll just deal with it. I'll just work with them, and they're probably not going to buy, but I'm just going to push him off if he wastes my time.
All right. What did he want?
I dealt with it. I was like, hey, mate, I need a laptop. I was like, all right, come over here, man. Let's have a look. And he's like, what's your best gaming one? Pointed at the most expensive one. I think it was like an Asus ROG.
Oh my god!
And I was like,
so
this one, mate. This one, bro, $3,000. And he's like, oh, all right. He's like, it's good, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. And also at the same time, man, like I need to get something for my uncle, and also like 2-3 other laptops. Yeah, for my uncle, and also for my auntie and my mom and all that. Like just for personal use. Email.
The same one.
Not the same one. He's like, would you recommend something else? They're not gonna need a rig like this. They don't play games. So like, all right, like just like general day to day.
Yeah.
And I was like, at first I was like, fuck, is this guy like just fucking with me right now? Like I sort of had that face on. And he was like, I don't know if he noticed or if he, but he was like, oh mate, like don't worry, man, I've got the money. And he whips up his bank account. And he's like, my grandmother just died, and I was on her will, and she gave me like $35,000. And he shows me the bank account. I was like, there was like $37,000 in it. So I was like, okay, bro.
This guy's a baller, bro.
Yeah, he's like, I've just come down from like Queensland. Like I usually live in like Brisbane, but I came down for a holiday and stuff. And I just need to buy this stuff. I'll chuck it all in my suitcase and go back. But what laptops? I was like, there was another Asus laptop that we had a few like leftover stock. Like it was, they basically introduced a new model.
Is it the ZenBooks?
It wasn't the ZenBook. It was another one, but I think it's an obsolete model now because they needed to tweak a few things. So we basically just got them in, and they tweaked a few things, and they basically gave us the same model but with like a different graphics card or a different type of RAM or something. So we had to basically get rid of that stock because it was classified as obsolete, but they were still brand new in the box. There's nothing wrong with them, and I'd get like more of a commission from them as well. So I was like, mate, this one, this one's good. And he's like, all right. Like, I'll take 3 of them. Like, yeah, mate, take the stock. And I also need some like nice headphones, like good ones, like at the front, bro. Beats by Dre.
Like, not the Beats, bro.
Yeah, Beats by Dre, mate.
Man.
Get those ones, man. Like, and when we got to the counter, he was with like another guy as well, like a smaller guy. I think they were like lovers, bro, like gay lovers. I didn't know at the time. Thought it was his mate, and his partner was like, "Oh man, you're gonna have some like you're gonna play some really good games with that laptop, eh?" And he was like, "Oh, do you want one?" And he was like, yeah. Can you get another one of these Asus ROGs, please? What? I was like, yeah, bro. And he's like, they were just having this conversation between them. Oh, are you sure? Like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, yeah, man, you're my partner, of course. And at first I thought they were like partners, as in like business crime sort of thing.
Yeah.
But apparently when I went in to go get the laptop, they were like kissing a bit. So that's what my colleague told me. So yeah, that ended up being like a freaking 16 grand
sale.
Yeah, 16. And that was a big deal for my store because we were located in the smack bang middle of the CBD.
Yeah.
So when it comes to selling white goods and like washing machines, that's where you'd make like a lot of the money and the bigger contract value. Yeah. But because we're in the smack bang in the middle of the CBD, we wouldn't be selling these giant like 700 liter French door fridges and like giant 10 kilo, 15 kilo laundry machines. So we would sell like the smaller ones that would cater to an apartment and all that. The deal values wouldn't really clock over 5,000. Yeah. So I got like fucking a 16 grand deal here, just selling a bunch of shit to this guy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and I think I got paid like I don't remember like one and a half grand or something for that.
Damn, in commission.
Yeah, because of all the obsolete spiffs that I got. It was crazy, bro. I looked at my bank account, I was like, fuck.
This is fat money,
it was
bro.
fat money, bro. It was crazy. It's like it was unheard of, like because it was mainly because like I pushed that obsolete spiff, like that obsolete. That model number, I got the spiff from that. Obviously, the ROG had its own spiff because it was so expensive, and the Beats also had its own spiff.
Spiff was what's that?
It's like I don't even know what it stands for, but it's like a extra thing on top of the commission that you would get.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Man, I know those ROG machines are like so overpriced. Was the commission really high for them?
Yeah, I think it's because we couldn't sell them, bro. And I think Asus probably gave us a bit more of an incentive to sell it. Like they gave the finance team, and then they would just trickle it down to us. Like, hey man, you get like extra $50 or $100 if you sell it, you know? Yeah, on top of the commission.
So he spent half his inheritance at your store.
Shit, I didn't think about that. He actually did. Yeah,
16 grand.
16 grand to me, bro.
And that was like what, 5 years ago?
Probably more than that. It was like 7 years ago.
7-8 years. So that thing's probably obsolete by now.
Yeah, it's probably obsolete.
Can't run
obsolete,
everything.
Mate.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't remember his name. Whatever. Like, hey mate, if you're watching this, hope you're doing well and you didn't run the inheritance dry.
I don't know if he like still has a lot of it left.
Yeah, I hope you do, bro.
He spent half of it on like the first day.
Yeah, look, it's pretty irresponsible. But mate, I wasn't a financial advisor at the time, so
yeah. Oh well. Yeah. Look, I'm just here to make a sale.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Most creative way you've closed the sale.
Most creative way, eh? So. What one that I can think of on top of my head, it wasn't like done by me. I didn't think about it from A to Z, but I basically converted to Christianity to close a deal.
Is that immoral?
I'm joking, bro. I'm joking. But I've heard of people actually doing that, like going to church with people just to close a deal because maybe that guy happened to be like a
ruthless,
like not from my company, but on like the sales subreddit. It was like, yeah, man, like that was probably the most not unethical, but demoralizing thing I'd done for my self-worth was just going to church as a Muslim or something, or as like a Buddhist, like just to close the deal because the head of whatever industry the head of whatever team that they're trying to sell into happened to be like a pastor or some shit.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's really
cool, some weird shit, or like pretending to be like a completely different like religion, like, oh yeah, I'm Jewish as well, you know, just to try to sell something. I've heard of stories like that where they've literally just brought their self-worth all the way down just to sell something, but no, I haven't done that yet. It hasn't been that tough.
Nothing really.
But the one that I have on top of my head though, that's actually real was there's this like good cop, bad cop thing that I did with my colleague, right, as my time as a BDR. So he was trying to train me to become an account executive. Like shout out Alex Chua. He moved companies though, but he was a very pivotal part of my sales career. He took me on as like a mentee. He became my mentor unofficially, and he didn't really have to do that. He spent extra time to train me, and he allowed me to like I guess take on some of his smaller clients that he had some confidence in me to help close. And he really went above and beyond for me. So basically, he started giving me deals to try close on my own, and if I needed any help, he'll jump in. It would be very like small employee count, but yeah, he'll let me run it, and he'll help, and then he'll just like give me advice when I need it. So basically, there was one customer I was trying to close, and I was like, yeah, like this and that, ran them through the process, and when you want to sign the contract, my colleague Alex will send it to you, and they were going a little bit cold, but there was a pain point. There was a obvious need for the product, but they weren't prioritizing it. Because we needed to get this deal done by the end of quarter. It was closing. So that'll help with our number, right? It'll help with our number and shit. So we were trying to like push it for the end of the month. So what we sort of came up with, or he started to teach me later on, was like this good cop, bad cop thing. Because I was like a really nice and patient salesperson, but he called them up being like, I don't know what he said because it wasn't recorded, but he was apparently being like very pushy and like your stereotypical like commission rep type salesperson. Like to them, he's like, oh yeah, you need to sign the contract now, blah blah blah. And they ended up calling me immediately afterwards. Like, oh hey Lawrence, I got this guy Alex like trying to like call me and like harass me. Like no, she wasn't harassing. He's telling me that he's pushing me to sign the contract, pushing me like I don't know what this is, but Lawrence like can you just send me the contract and I'll do it, and like just let me know what the best next steps are. And it basically it's like good cop and bad cop. So I was a nice guy, he was the bad guy, and then they came back to me. Yeah, because I treated them a bit.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
How do you split the commission then?
Oh, like I didn't get the commission for like our commission rates were different because I was a business development rep. I had my own incentive.
Oh, you want the accounts?
I wasn't the account executive, so I didn't get the commission he would have gotten for that, but I got my own sort of commission for helping with that deal. So
I never would have thought of that actually. It's a good tactic. Yeah, it's
a good tactic. I don't know if it's like in the stereotypical sales book. I don't know if there's an actual term for it, but
I mean, it's in the movies, right? When the detectives, like the literal good cop, bad cop. Like, why don't you admit it, man? The other guy's like, come on, man. Like, think of all the victims. So that sort of thing.
Yeah, man.
What advice would you give to someone just starting in sales?
Someone just starting, I think. Like take any position that you can when it comes to like B2B sales. Like if you're trying to find a position, just be open to learning, and like don't be afraid to like ask questions and also like make mistakes, because you're gonna like don't overthink your calls. Like it's the first call you're ever gonna take or you're ever gonna do is gonna be complete dog shit. It'll be a flop most of the time. Right, so don't be afraid of that, and don't be afraid to just like ask for help and polish up that talk track a bit. But like just know it's gonna suck for the first 2-3 months. It's gonna suck for the first 2-3 months, but then you'll start seeing the benefits a bit later on. And like work. I think work smart. Work smart,
not hard.
Opposed to still work hard, but work smart is more important. Like be able to prioritize your time with those customers that have a high propensity to buy, opposed to those that might not. Like just try to find the red flags first, opposed to the green flags. I tell this to a lot of people. I think like sales, especially tech sales, have like changed my life a lot. Like it's like I'm making a lot more money than I would have in marketing. It's a very good career for just to develop general skills that you'll be able to utilize in all aspects in life. Like every interaction that you have with people, it could be like a sales interaction, right? Like maybe you're trying to understand more about that person, or maybe you're trying to become friends with them. It's still sort of selling, right? You're selling yourself. And when it comes to job interviews, you're selling yourself as well. So a lot of those skills are transferable, and I would definitely recommend anyone, like especially younger people who don't know what they want to do. Like I was definitely in that spot. I didn't really know if I wanted to do marketing or sales. I was just doing a degree because I needed to do one, or my mom and dad would have killed me. So anyone who's a bit lost, like jump into sales as soon as you can, and you'll see if it is the right solution for you. And it definitely helped me a lot in life.
Yeah, you gain a lot of communication skills.
Yeah.
Actually, there was another point before when you were talking about how you were reading someone based on their persona or how they look.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that was a point when I went for a job interview for just a retail store.
Yeah.
Pretty basic interview, but I didn't really talk about myself. The guy just started talking about his life. We're talking about like, oh yeah, I used to be a used car salesman. So like, I got a pretty good read on people. And I was like sitting like this. So, hand on my my chin. It's kind of like resting on that.
Yeah.
Like a thinking kind of pose. And he's like, based on your what you're doing now, I can tell that you're usually quite analytical. Yeah.
I hate it when people do that. It's so. Oh no, don't worry. Yeah, go on.
But he's just like, so usually with you, if I was a used car salesman, I just need to like find the right words that you're trying to look for.
Yeah.
Like maybe you want a car with like X, Y, Z. So I'll try to like figure out what you're trying to look for in the car.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's quite right on like that point.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's like one of the things that maybe you might have picked up on, like certain body language.
Yeah, there are certain like personas, like
you'd pick up.
In Gartner. There was like, I don't remember the actual personalities now, but there was like amicable and there's like analytical and like there's one for like extroverted and stuff. So yeah, you do sort of pick it up and then you gauge the room and then see what level of professionalism you need to uphold or what level of like, hey bro, like let's do this and buy this, man. Like what, to what extent can you play around with the language that you're speaking in?
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like reading the room or something, or I mean, it's pretty much what you're saying. It's what kind of person are they, and what kind of behavior do you have to show? Because anytime you meet someone from the area, it's like so easy to relate.
Yeah.
You get along.
Exactly.
You know, talk about, oh yeah, man. Oh, did you go to this school? Like, we probably have like 10 mutuals or something like that.
Yeah. No, it's different. Yeah, I had to definitely learn with those different personalities. Like my biggest fear always was that old, bold, white bloke who's been in the C-level position for like, however many years. I'm like, how the hell did I talk to this guy?
What do you relate with this guy, man?
Yeah, like that's the biggest fear. But really, I'm just there to just solve this problem, man. Like, I know you have this problem. Like, I'm here to solve it. I'm not going to try to... I'll try my best if I know there's something that we can relate to. But at the end of the day, it's just about like solving the problem. And they'll typically respect you for that.
So it's hard to relate. So you just kind of given up, sounds like.
Yeah, it's
trying to find common ground.
I always try my best to to find common ground, but sometimes like people just don't want to, or they don't have the time to just talk about that shit with you, So you just, because especially at it's a CEO, for example, like,
oh yeah,
they're so busy, man. Like, and like a minute of their time is like very, very valuable. So for them to even pick up that call or even take a 30-minute meeting with you is
it's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. So yeah, just try to, just no fluffing around. Just bring them the solution to the problem, or find out what their problem is and what we can potentially solve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Anything you want to pitch before we finish up?
No, not really. Besides my podcast.
Oh, here we go. Rival podcast.
Exactly. So
dude, that's a sin, bro.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I'll plug my podcast. Okay. So yeah, I have a podcast with two of my co-hosts, Edmund and Justin. It's called Backdoor Banter. We talk about stuff like self-improvement, predominantly for those who are interested in that, or maybe have sort of heard about self-improvement, meditation, all that stuff. So we do talk about that, and we're still figuring it out ourselves. So it's sort of a podcast for you to join our journey while working on yours at the same time. So, and we do talk a bit about sales, like combat sports, and about our life and stuff. Yeah. So check that out, like Backdoor Banter on YouTube.
I'll link it in the description below.
Thanks, Tung.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks for having me, Tung. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for joining, Lawrence. It's been really good catching up, because we don't really do it that often.
No, we don't. But it's always like, we don't see each other that often, but I think you're the type of friend that I have in my life where even if we haven't seen each other for a while, it's not really awkward. Like, we just like pick up the same conversation from last time.
Normal.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thanks for coming. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
See you guys.